week or whatever.
It's like
It's crazy.
Well, this weekend I get to go to the Snoqualmie Railroad Museum because I posted so good they invited me.
This is a likely thing to happen. I would say.
Yeah, and because I was on the show and I was like, oh yeah, I love them, they're awesome. Somebody reached out and was like, hey, you want to come check out the wrecked Talgo dining car? And I was like, holy shit,
that's cool.
Hey, we know the guy who wrecked that.
And then the next weekend is a friend's wedding, and then the weekend after that, I get on an airplane and fly to Glasgow.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so hyped. Yeah, it's gonna be so good to see you.
How do I? Oh, right.
Oh, I gotta pause my torrents. Sorry.
And God damn it. And we gotta sync up the audio as well. That's the other thing we gotta do with like 5 of us. I'm so sorry, Devin.
Okay.
We will keep adding transsexuals to the podcast until morale improves.
Yeah, we're gonna become Liam and I are gonna become a minority. I mean, we are a minority on recording right now.
Hold the fort.
we're being oppressed.
Yeah, that's us.
I'm the most oppressed person.
making
anyway,
making all the money and not having a real job.
You have a real job, just in addition to this.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, does Vicky want to clap her hand?
Yeah. I'm in solemn prayer right now that we'll learn how to count backwards from 3.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1, mark. Everyone clap. That's 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay, good enough. I guess we're gonna go do a podcast now. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yes.
Today.
You don't introduce it. What are you doing?
Oh, shit.
I've been doing my
back in your hovel. Back in your hovel.
I've been doing my own podcast, and I keep forgetting that this is. I'm just Go ahead.
My favorite bit of Well, There's Your Problem guest host is when we have one that's like used to show running, and they just like they try to field command, and you can hear the annoyance in Roz's voice grow and grow and grow and grow.
Oh, I wanted to mention this because this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast is when I mentioned this in the chat, but I'm going to mention it on the recording too. Is when November suggests something extremely outlandish, which turns out to be real.
Yeah, I love when that happens, and it keeps happening, and it's never on purpose. People think that I'm like scripting this bit. I'm not. I just think the things, and then the lathe of heaven, you know?
Yeah. And Liam and I went to go visit the NS Savannah over the weekend. The nuclear ship.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing. It looks like it just came off of sea trials. Everything is there.
It fucks. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in Baltimore, or around Baltimore, anywhere on the East Coast, NS Savannah's website is up to date for dates that they're open. Highly suggest you check it out.
Go get irradiated.
Yeah. Oh, you have to go to the radiation measuring machine.
Box.
Oh, hell yeah, you have to stick your hand in the box like in Dune.
Yeah.
and so anyway, one of the things November mentioned in our episode on NS Savannah was, I assume the egg fryer is hooked up to the secondary steam loop from the reactor.
No.
Guess what?
Oh my fucking God.
A whole damn kitchen runs on the secondary steam loop.
They don't even do that on submarines. That's diabolical.
They had a Raytheon made microwave that was really cool. The Raider Range.
Oh my God! Just thinking about eating grits or something that make you feel like you've got a filling in, like just everything comes out tasting kind of like metal. Yeah, no, that's real cuisine.
I took all those pictures and now I'm like, I should have put like a little grain over all of them, just freak people out.
Yeah, it's like I went to see the NS Savannah and it killed 3 digital cameras.
Yes. All right. Anyway, go see NS Savannah while you still can. They're about to finally decommission the reactor properly, and then no one knows what's going to happen to it.
World's most expensive way of making a microwave not work anymore.
Yeah.
We were talking to the guy. And he's like, "Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing."
The
after
radiation
this.
safety officer.
Yeah, the radiation safety officer was just like, "I don't know what I'm doing after this. Hopefully, I retire to sunny South Florida and like don't die of radiation exposure."
I don't love a radiation safety officer beginning really any sentence with "I don't know what I'm doing."
He's the only guy who made a lot of money off the government shutdown and is really mad about it because he was planning to retire and then the government shut down. Then they had to delay decommissioning the reactor, which meant he had to sit there for an extra couple months to make sure no one brought anything radioactive into the reactor, because that's the stage they're at right now. Is there's no radiation in there, but there is a chance that someone brings radioactive material in there, in which case there's a lot of paperwork that has to happen.
Had to microwave my burrito.
The reverse dirty Bob.
Listen, sometimes you get hungry, you know.
Was I not supposed to eat the cesium?
I sorry, I forgot my pockets were full of Brazil nuts. So anyway, welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters with slides. I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
I'm November Kelly. I'm the person who's talking now. My pronouns are she and her. Yay, Liam.
Yay, Liam. Hi, I'm Liam McAnderson. My pronouns are he and him. Victoria, go.
Hi, my name is Victoria Scott. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are she and her. We have a guest. Another guest.
Oh, hello. My name is Maya Ventura. My pronouns are it and she. You probably know me from being on here previously. That's the only thing I have to introduce myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we see on the screen in front of us is Denzel Washington.
You give it a booger.
In the movie Flight, which is a great movie, which unironically makes the suggestion that drinking makes you a better pilot.
This
narrows the world and you can focus better or whatever.
Yeah.
He's more chill. Like the whole plot of it is like actually the plane crash would have gone worse if he wasn't so limber.
Mm-hmm.
This actually does tie into one of my most deeply seated beliefs, which is that if you let me have like 2 drinks, I would turn a significantly faster lap time in a race car.
I think you should be allowed to test this under controlled conditions.
Yeah, if Mythbusters can do it, surely we have the pull of Mythbusters.
So when I was still working as an auto journalist, I went to the Honda warehouse facility outside of the Indianapolis 500 where they have the enormous $2 million sim rig.
Whoa. Hold the fuck on. You're telling me that Honda has a parallel version of the warehouse from Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
They just have God Civic in there?
Yeah, I've driven the first CVCC they made in America. Or they sold in America, rather.
That is
the Nazis cool. Do a bunch of incantations, open the door of the Camry, and their faces start melting off.
Camry is Toyota.
I was going to say
Camry got rid of Toyota got rid of all their heritage cars because they're in Plano, Texas, and they're where good things go to die.
And they make the Texas edition of the Tacoma Yeehaw whip crack noise.
They can't see this, but I can see this. I like to get car things wrong because you get a little twitch.
Me? I don't know what you're talking about. In any case,
the M in BMW stands for Mercedes. I fucking got you.
Bavarian Mercedes works, of course. An oxymoron. Mercedes works.
At a certain point, this becomes workplace bullying.
Yeah, well, you already went on the car show to talk about cars.
Yeah, I did.
We're doing the flight show. No, but in any case, they've got the warehouse with the big IndyCar sim in it, and I want them to let me have 2 beers and then drive it.
Yeah,
I think that's a reasonable thing that anybody.
I think the ideal thing is you ABC test this and you do 2 beers, 4 beers, 6 beers, 8 beers, 10 beers. You know, until they're decanting you out of it.
What's the Balmer peak of turning a qualifying lap at the Indy 500?
I recently saw
Oh boy.
the film Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Oh shit, yeah.
And it taught me a lesson, which is do a lot of drugs.
That's generally good advice, I've found.
It will improve your life.
Yeah, man. Yeah. As somebody
Ross, have you
addicted
played
to
Disco
prescription-
Elysium?
I have not, no.
I feel like you really should. Like, I think you'd enjoy it.
That would take away precious workers and resources Soviet Republic time.
That's true.
a good point.
I deeply respect anyone who's like, I have one video game that I play. I'm back on fucking SnowRunner lately, which is news you should greet sort of roughly analogously to me saying I've started doing heroin again. Just really bad idea. Like, I like to play it for a few hours and get like suicidally frustrated. Just, you know, I love to like roll a truck down into a quarry and just think about different ways I could end things. And that's relaxing to me. That's good. And I invest a lot of time in that. So yeah, you know, I think this
Have
is
you
great.
tried having a beer first? Does it make you more effective at driving the trucks?
I have, and it makes me have a better time, but a worse driver.
Yeah. True.
Well, you're not like Denzel Washington in the 2012 film Flight, then.
No, that's true. This is very true. I don't have a relationship with a cool John Goodman drug dealer, for one.
That's true. So obviously, in the movie Flight, which has a really good opening scene, the rest of the movie is kind of like a Denzel Washington movie your dad watches.
It's pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
you know, it's a dad movie.
It's a good movie to watch standing up with your hands clasped behind your back, saying
Yes,
that you're not
yeah.
going to watch all of it, but you
A
are.
parade
Basic
rest.
cable film.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be on TNT at 3 in the
that's-
afternoon. You
Yes.
should be watching it with commercial breaks. But the initial crash scene is Denzel has a sudden issue with the control yoke of his I forget what they call it in the movie. It's it's like an MD-88 or something, or like an LD-88. It's like it's
that.
you know,
They
like Donald
have the gun licenses, you know.
like Donald Mugless.
We can certainly put that on a t-shirt. They can't sue us over that.
And the plane sinks towards the earth, and he ends up having to fly it inverted, and then he like clips a church and crashes, and a couple of people die, but it's okay because he was drunk, so he was pretty good at landing the plane.
Yes.
This scene is very loosely, and I mean really loosely, based on the real world crash of Alaska Airlines Flight 261, where everyone died and the pilots were sober.
So
I'm
defamatorily based on
Yes. They did not hit any churches though, so that's
Well, in Alaska, you've got a lot of ground to cover, and if you do, decent chance it's like a Russian stave church built in like the sort of early 19th century.
Well, so
something devastatingly historic.
Part of why I wanted to do this episode was because obviously, like, Maya knows about airplanes, and I thought it'd be fun to do an episode with her. But also, Alaska Airlines is more or less the state carrier for like the nascent Cascadian Republic, because they're based out of SeaTac, and everybody here is more ride or die for this airline than you've ever encountered in your life.
I booked travel on it literally yesterday while finishing this slideshow. Actually,
I mean, it's really great. There's like a cool like guy on the tail.
The guy on the plane, yeah.
I don't care for that guy. I don't care for that guy.
Trying to take him
like
away.
The guy. Yeah, they should. I don't like the color scheme either.
That's horrifying. No, the thing is they also just acquired.
What are you talking about?
I've long accepted that like I'm gonna be guillotined by the entirely transgender Cascadian People's Republic for like one or another of my many microaggressions, but I'd like to get ahead of the line, you know?
Well, if you don't like the guy, they bought Hawaiian Airlines, so they got planes with girls.
Okay, well I do like girls.
Oh, there you go.
They also have planes with nothing, which is
I
worse
like
than all
nothing.
of
I
them.
like nothing a lot better. I think nothing's my preference.
The new
Me when
livery
I
is
roll the truck into a quarry and snow run.
the new livery is kind of useless, I think. But I think they should have made the Hawaiian girl and the Alaskan guy kiss. But that's just me.
Mm.
State of solidarity. Yeah, hell yeah.
That's the new. That should be the new.
That's a straight cis thing. I thought.
Yeah, probably.
Kissing?
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
In any case, that's what we're going to talk about today. So it's a me and Maya episode. She did a lot. She did a lot of the work. Let's be real here.
You like to give me credit, but you also did a lot of the work.
Oh my god.
We had a very good working process.
Yeah. All I did was put the safety third in.
Well done.
I didn't even
you get to introduce the news.
The first thing we do, which is the goddamn news.
Oh yeah, 15 minutes, 16 seconds in. Hell yeah.
No, I had to talk about the truck game I don't like.
That's a great Chiron.
Yeah, so I'm making a liar out of Justin because in the ad you say that the only ad that they're going to hear on the podcast is the ad.
Yes.
Well, that's not true anymore. There's also this ad, which is
a new ad.
There's a new ad. It's just this one time. I have started a 5th podcast because I have lost control of my life. It is called Be Gay, Solve Crimes. It's me, former guest Mia Mulder, and Lucy from Scotland. We talk about a different piece of detective fiction every week. We talk about why it's transgender, why detective is kind of a transgender thing to be. It's really fun. We are going to have the first bonus episode out probably end of this week, but the first free episode, which is a 1945 Sherlock Holmes movie, which is just really inexplicably weird, is already out. You can find it wherever podcasts are sold or begaysolvecrimes.com. Thank you for your attention to this.
Wow, look at you registering a domain for your podcast.
Yeah.
Not like 4 years after the fact. Yeah.
buddy.
Can I just draw your attention to how good that art is that we have though? That's my wife. My wife did that, and it's
very good.
The little Polaroid. So yeah, check out the podcast. I have a lot of fun making it. I hope you're going to have a lot of fun listening to it.
I'm very.
We have a Patreon as well, which is great because everyone needs money because the economy is bad. So please consider this. Or any one of the other infinite podcasts that I do, like No Gods, No Mayors, or Trash Future, or Kill James Bond, or I'm probably missing one at this point.
You're not.
Okay, good. Well,
thank
you very much. That's the item.
Right. I have an ad as well.
Oh sure.
Oh shit.
Buysnooze.com next.
Oh, I have an ad as well. You should listen to Victoria's podcast Trangirlismo because I was on it. It was a great time. I ruined it by talking for an hour about which cars were in the Epstein files.
That was not ruined. This past week's episode, we did literally an hour of me explaining what shadow banking was.
Sick.
Somebody called it gay John Oliver, which I thought was just John Oliver, but
that's horrifying.
What was the luxury car Epstein wanted to import but couldn't?
Toyota Century.
The Toyota Century. That was a damn good looking car. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of had taste in cars. We
should clarify immediately.
He couldn't. He couldn't import it on
It's the most understressed engine they've ever built. Anyone's ever built ever.
Yeah.
He couldn't have imported it as an antique. It would have been too old for him.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
God damn
it. God.
Secretly, Jeffrey Epstein, car guy. Depressing.
It's not really surprising if you know most car guys, I think.
Yeah. In other news.
Yeah, so you like that one, huh?
Yeah.
So shit is popping off in okay, settle down. It's your own time you're wasting. So the most wanted drug lord in Mexico has been killed again. This is Nemesio Osegura Cervantes, El Mencho, who is head of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. The Mexican army arrested him and then almost certainly murdered him in custody. Nobody cares that much because he was a piece of shit. He was
transported to Mexico City, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And though I think the Americans tried to take credit for it, which meant that Scheinbaum had to be no, this was us. We just had
just intelligence sharing.
Yeah, but obviously...
no, I did the extrajudicial killing.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
I can
basically.
do it too, Dad.
Yeah. So the kind of institutional response from the cartels when you like kill or arrest a big cartel guy is to try and just do as much domestic terrorism as possible as a kind of like protest, which meant like a lot of like stuff being set on fire, right?
Mm-hmm. I saw something incredibly funny on Twitter or Blue Sky or whichever. That was a guy in the Marriott Bonvoy subreddit getting really mad because in Puerto Vallarta, I think I'm saying correctly.
Puerto Vallarta, see.
Vallarta, yes. Yeah. They wouldn't give him late checkout. He's like, no one else is checking in. The city's under lockdown. I can't leave. Give me late checkout.
It is kind of fucked up that Marriott did just like kick a bunch of people out into a war zone, even if admittedly like it fucks up a bunch of Americans' vacations is not the sort of most salient consequence of this.
I saw a Reddit post from somebody who was at an Airbnb in Puerto Vallarta. And the landlord, Airbnb owner, was refusing to let them extend that stay because it had been booked for the next day. And so they you
just have to go out. Yeah, go out in the sort of cartel war.
Yes. Airbnb basically told him to go fuck himself, which was the most in character part of the whole thing, I think.
Yeah. So like they set fire to a bunch of stuff. I think they like injured a few like soldiers and stuff. And like this has been across like 8 states, and the weird thing is that it's sort of like extending into the tourist areas like Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, most notably, which is where they're going to be holding part of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's a city as large as we are. Us being Philadelphia.
I mean, Mexican Philadelphia or Guadalajara. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want a cheesesteak burrito, and I assume tummy hurt. And I'll just, I fucking love Mexico. Every time I've been in Mexico. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, the one thing I will say is never fucking trust an OSINT account, especially about Mexico, ever, right?
Yes.
Because you are going to see a bunch of cartel hype videos where it's guys in like airsoft vests with admittedly very expensive American trafficked guns being like, we are the fucking, Jalisco Cartel Special Forces and we have like anti-tank missiles. And it's like, no, you don't. There's no evidence of this. But you see the same like 5 or 6 videos get posted again and again and again and again and again, right? And it's all bullshit. It's actively gonna like disinform.
Yeah, I did read an article, I cannot remember where, that a lot of Mexican cartel ammunition came from the United 50 cal. Came from a government
Lake
munitions
City
plant.
Yeah, Lake City, home of the quiet pills. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is absolutely true, right? I think there's sort of like a lot of interest here in like how much this is sort of Scheinbaum's hand being forced to do the heavy-handed thing, and it sort of remains an open question, and God only knows what this means in the sort of longer term, or who's going to replace this guy, what this means for the other cartels. I think the guy replacing him is like fucking codename 03 because they all started giving themselves army-style codenames after Los Zetas. Basically, it's all bad. And I think the thing is, you're allowed to laugh at the guy who can't get late checkout at the Marriott.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What was the cartel called?
The Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, because it does seem like the violence has been sort of a little more stayed, a little more tamped down, as evidenced by The Next Generation, as opposed to Jalisco, the original series.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Jalisco Voyager.
Deep Space Jalisco.
Deep Space Jalisco is that's on like an offshore platform.
I am interested to see and where, because basically when the cartels, like if they splinter or if there's going to be sort of like a 5 families type of organization where like leadership is clearly defined and we don't have a power struggle.
They tried. I mean, they have absolutely tried. That's what Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo was doing. And yeah, with sort of like a lot of higher level corruption. I mean, basically, like, who's to say? That's my official conclusion from this is who knows what the fuck.
Yeah, that I assume I don't really know enough about like Mexico's politics, even though I probably should know more. The main thing is I assume anything that bad happens is just because of America, just as like a roundabout.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
that's
kind
not,
of like
that's not a bad kind of thing.
I saw a lot of people who I trust being like, I bet America was pushing for this. So I'll trust them. I could be wrong though.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but it does kind of like agree with my priors that like, oh, something has caused instability in a country south of America. I bet we had something to do with that.
Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely pushing for it. I mean, one thing I will say is I kind of respect being a cop or a troop more in Mexico than the US on the basis that not that you're not a fascist or that you're not corrupt, but at least you're playing with the difficulty turned up, you know? Like at least people are shooting back sometimes. But yeah, that's my conclusion from this.
Yeah, I mean they have more things to worry about than snowballs.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. Ma'am Danny, are you gonna ban snowball fights?
Oh, we didn't make it to. It didn't make it to the goddamn news, but I did want to talk about that speedboat getting hosed in Cuba.
Oh, yeah, that happened like an hour before we started recording.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Marco Rubio is going to personally parachute in and do Just Cause 2 on Cuba after this. I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. We got
speaking of boats. In other news.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. So
there's a poop problem on the Gerald R. Ford.
There is. This is all part of a sort of broader like edging campaign that Donald Trump is doing to the various neocons over the prospect of war in Iran, like war with Iran. Right,
very
or like
much a
some
will
kind
they,
of,
won't they situation.
Yeah, some kind of sustained bombing campaign, which would be so disastrous an idea. Like John McCain is looking up from hell, is like well pleased with this, right? But like in general,
Holden Bloodlust or whatever.
Yeah. Very, very funny to be the guy who like got John Bolton arrested and is also giving him the birthday present he's always wanted. But like the deal is here that they're gonna try and like force regime change, maybe like with air policing, essentially an idea that never really died in the 20s like people thought it did. And this is so transparently a bad idea that different parts of the White House and the Pentagon are all leaking reasons why it's a terrible idea. Not least the fact that if they actually do it, it's going to deplete all the munitions they want to use against China if they ever want to do that. But
also, they could probably just wait and regime change will happen.
Decent chance. Right?
This is like, sometimes the best option is to do nothing. But this is not how America works.
And because what they want to do is so flagrantly illegal that like the US's European allies have refused to allow them to like base it in, for instance, the UK, you have a lot of like really strange, hesitant and like sort of Byzantine military movements, right? Where you have like sort of every tanker that you could possibly have in theater parked bumper to bumper in Portugal, on the basis that you only have so many of them that are actually going to be like airworthy. This is exposing some real strain in like US power projection for no reason, of which the funniest example is the Ford having a massive problem with its toilets. It's got like 60 of them, and all of them are fucked now.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad situation to be in. If I mean, talk about like Byzantine military problems. Dysentery is definitely something of that era. I assume the next thing they're going to do is go in there and put up some Theodosian walls.
Well, the reason why this is happening is also quite Byzantine, which is like Trump sent them to the Caribbean to support the Maduro thing, and then sent them to the Mediterranean and then to the Gulf, right, to do this, which means everybody on board is having their tour extended by months. They're all miserable. The toilets are busted. I said in the notes that this photo we've got here is taken from the closest possible distance you could approach the Ford without being overwhelmed by sewage stench.
Yes.
Right. This is not going well for the actual people who have to do any of this stuff. And I don't think that will stop them from getting it done, whatever it is. But like, this is showing some like serious dying empire strains that no one needed to know about.
I have a question for everybody aboard this ship. Have you ever seen the battleship Potemkin?
Just drive it right up the Potomac,
I'm kind of like I like the one quote from the guy in engineering on the boat who's like, yeah, these fucking enlisted sailors keep fucking up my plumbing. They're like flushing t-shirts and garbage.
It's like Navy recruitment's either gotten sort of way worse, or that's a kind of like actual protest that you're like, I'm going to make my living conditions way worse by fucking up all of the toilets.
They keep kicking out all the queer people from the Navy, and I assume that leaves you with like the bottom of the barrel.
The hygiene standards go way down.
We kicked out the only people in the Navy who knew how to use a flush toilet because they were all gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want.
If
you want a straight Navy, you're gonna have to install a traditional ship's head.
This is all downstream of Pete Hegseth's relentless yet futile quest for heterosexuality.
Oh my god!
This is we need better hygiene standards, and we can't accomplish that with straight people. It's unfortunate, but it's something that
we need a competent Navy. Yeah.
Something we will say, right, is that having a few beers may get you a better lap time, makes you a way worse Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. That does seem to be the case.
I mean, the problem is he's bad enough at baseline that like, how do you tell which direction the beers are influencing him?
I also do not think that Pete Hegseth has had 2 beers ever.
Well, okay. Sure.
That is not a 2 beers thought kind of guy.
2 beers. It's just 2 Modelo's as like mouth rinse.
Two beers is with breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. He's my guy is doing the New Orleans diet. Just absolutely. Listen, I will reach across the aisle for the New Orleans diet, right? But we gotta. Sorry, Dev.
Yeah, but the last time you had a Secretary of Defense who had a New Orleans diet, he was working for the Confederacy, right? Like, and that's
bad.
Partially why it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say among the Trump guys, Pete Hegseth is probably one of the ones I would most want to see decapitated in a public square.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
I don't know what it is about him that makes him so much less palatable than the rest of them, because they're all equally bad. Maybe he's just louder about it.
It's the American flag pocket square for me.
It's that. It's the weird tattoo. There's a lot of annoying things about that guy.
Deus fault tattoo or some insane shit.
Something like that.
That's
also Byzantine.
True, yeah.
I think he seems like the most gleefully white supremacist person with a large platform in the admin, because obviously there are people who are more like gleefully white supremacist, but they are not like cabinet level officials who are constantly doing media pressers. And I think that's part of what
Stephen
makes
Miller's
me hate
up
his
there.
fucking guts.
Him and Kristi Noem, I guess.
Yeah, but like they already are chanting like actionable threats against Kristi Noem, so
much like I am, to be clear.
Yeah, no, I don't know where this is all leading with Iran either. It sort of remains to be seen. I think because basically it's all ready to go. Like American sort of like power projection always has this like long fucking telegraph lead up to it. And it's waiting on Donald Trump of all people just deciding like go or no go, which he is I guess gonna do at some point this week, end of this week, maybe. So I saw great. I
saw a lot of people.
I hope they all
I saw a lot of people, and again, take this with a grain of salt because it's people on the internet. And this is not I'm not an OSINT type. I don't know. But they did say that a lot of it kind of is reminiscent of like right before Russia invaded Ukraine, where they're like, they won't do this. They're just moving a lot of stuff. And then they did.
It's very much like just go fuck up this country for like sort of senility reasons as much as anything.
I think it kind of sucks that every major power is more or less either currently or turning into an oligarchic death cult of like people over the age of 70. But what do I know?
It's the old man apocalypse jerk-off session. It's going great. I remember hearing...
we got to go get all that oil that the petroleum companies don't really want.
Yeah. I just as a kind of multipolarity exercise, I remember hearing that it was from Trump of all people, that when he was talking to Xi about Taiwan, she started like heavy breathing. So it's all libidinal for these guys, and it's gonna maybe like doom all of us.
Cool.
It's real bad, real bad.
Also,
just like my dick doesn't work anymore. I can only get hard from death.
From bombing Iran. Yeah. Which we pulled out. Now they're like, oh, we're a week away from them having fucking weapons grade uranium. Which no, they're not. And then also we had like the path to build a bomb was halted with the JCPOA, which we then pulled out of because we are a country run by goddamn morons.
Yes.
We it makes me so mad. It just makes me so mad.
The mention of the weapons with mass destruction was interesting because like they haven't tried to manufacture the same consent as 25 years ago.
No, they don't give a fuck. Which is which
no one cares.
Yeah. Which is why bringing up the pretense was actually slightly interesting because like they haven't needed it so far.
No. American industry is so washed, we don't even manufacture consent here anymore.
Goddamn right.
Imported from China, yeah. Well, and perhaps the most important news. Something's happening at Amtrak, and we don't know what it is.
God.
Every Trump cabinet secretary is going to fuck up something.
Yes.
I haven't seen what this is yet, so I'm actually mortified for the next sentence.
Why is there a Genesis hauling 2 Talgo train sets?
These are going to our friend Scooter to be scrapped.
God damn it.
I don't know who put this image in here, but
I did. This was the first result for Amtrak restructuring, and I guess they're going to restructure those Talgos into scrap.
Yes.
But yeah, I've often thought about Amtrak, like, what if it was, like, British?
Yeah, so there is something coming down the pipeline right now where Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, wants to restructure Amtrak so that it's a holding company, and then below that holding company is going to be a company that does train operations, a company that owns and maintains the trains, a rolling stock operator, whatever Roscoe stands for, and then a separate company that owns and maintains the infrastructure.
We have invented Great British Railways, brackets American.
Yes. They're doing British rail privatization to Amtrak.
Yeah.
Except
which is insane because they barely even own anything.
Yeah.
God.
They did basically this to Greyhound like 3 years ago in terms of structuring, and all it led to was selling off everything that had any value to it.
Don't you mean Flixbus?
I do mean
Flixbus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't muster the German accent.
It's with the bus. It's Flixbus.
The
Flixbus.
Yeah, this is a little bit confusing because they're doing like a privatization scheme, but keeping the whole thing owned by the government. So it's just like, I don't know. There's going to be like internal rents being paid from Amtrak to Amtrak. It's
Amtrak's always been very weird about that. But again, this feels so spiritually British. You're doing like PFI to yourself.
There's some theories out there that like, okay, this is a way to do backdoor privatization. We're going to be able to auction off certain services to, different bidders. There's theories that
this is America. We can just do front door privatization.
Yeah, these guys are smart enough to plot something like that.
Just get it done.
My personal theory is
don't literally get it done, but like, come on, you idiots.
They're doing this as an accounting gimmick, so Trump can say, "Look, I made Amtrak profitable."
No, you didn't.
That one I could believe.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
If you told me that's the only motivation that makes sense. I hadn't thought about it like that.
It's very confusing. I don't know what's going on because it seems very obvious from the information that's come out. They don't know what's going on either. They don't know what they're doing. They're just doing
guy
it.
That's everything these days. Real world Boston doesn't know how to run a railroad. Are you sure?
I'm setting a record, and I'm going to be right back before the actual episode has begun. I apologize.
Oh my god.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
This is sort of whatchamacallit. Bringing Amtrak's organization sort of into line with how like European state railways operate with
Famously
like open access and all that sort of stuff, but also like the situation is so different. I don't understand how you get a private operator onto Amtrak because all the tracks are owned by the freight railroads, and they're gonna, what happens when Deutsche Bahn or Trenitalia or something comes in is like, well, we'd like to run a service that goes over CSX or Union Pacific. They're just gonna say, fuck you, fucking gay Europeans.
Yeah, rolling my sort of bright green homosexual European Flix train up to like the CSX offices and being like, hello, we would like to sort of run some passengers.
Yeah, and they just immediately smash it with hammers.
Yeah. You could go full headshot on it. This is so baffling, dude, just because like I don't understand the like what Maya was saying, like just front door private, or Victoria, just front door privatize it. Like don't actually literally do it, but like why are we doing the scheme? Like you Nazis can't do fucking anything right.
Yeah, I don't understand the scheme at all. I mean, the only thing that like makes sense is like either it's an accounting gimmick that involves a really stupid restructuring, which also adds a bunch of adversarial relationships where, I mean, okay, let's get real. The track department, the operating department, and the rolling stock department all hate each other. But now we're formalizing those relationships.
Here's the thing: like Donald Trump is our most culturally European president. So like I can see some of the motivations on his part, but I don't know about the secretary, Sean Duffy. That's his name.
Yeah, Sean Duffy. Log rolling guy.
I only ever see his name whenever he gets mad about Gateway Tunnel, which is like every week now, to be fair.
This is true. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. Probably by the time this episode comes out, we'll know what's going on. And
probably not.
Know. Yeah, maybe not though. Yeah. Who knows?
Delightful.
Yeah. So that was goddamn news.
That was a lean news cycle,
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna walk us through the history of
Jet the gay 90s way.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I felt like I was having a stroke for a second there. I couldn't like make sense of that.
The gay 1890s.
The 1890s, yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. When I associate a decade with powered flight, it's the 1890s.
Yes.
Yeah, balloons that are going one way, buddy.
Well, the gold rush, etc. Even though that took place in the Yukon and not in Alaska, they're next door, so it's the same thing. We have a little museum for it in downtown Seattle.
Goes as fast as a gold dredge, which is one of the stupidest machines I can think of.
Golden nugget jets. Okay, all right.
Indulge me. What is a gold? Is a gold dredge just like panning for gold on a big mechanized scale?
No, it's weirder than that. So the way a gold dredge works is you have all these sort of like permafrost, sort of swampy areas of Alaska. They're very, very flat. They're very, very
muskeg.
Damp. Right? Yeah, that horrible stuff. And the gold dredge, essentially, it's a boat. It's a dredge that digs a lake in front of it and then fills it in behind it. And then there's onboard equipment to, pan the gold out.
Oh my God. That rules. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of this immediately.
Yeah, it's cool.
So this is here because to understand the 2012 Denzel Washington movie Flight, first we must ask, what is Alaska Airlines? It's America's weirdest main carrier. Would you agree with that characterization, Maya?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it was a regional carrier up until like recently-ish. So
yeah. In 1932, a man named Linus Mac McGee, who a guy who moved to Alaska in the late 20s as a stowaway, founded his own aviation company, McGee Airways, which is a,
it should still
name.
be called that. I think it should be like very legal to change your name for a person, illegal for a business.
They call me Airways McGee.
It was based out of Anchorage, and they had a fleet that consisted of initially a single 3-seat Stinson airplane.
This is a lot like the Mark Wahlberg movie Flight Risk.
The service originally was just paid pilots on a commission basis to work as more or less a charter company that flew hunters and fishermen and like gold miners and such out to the middle of nowhere. And they also were commissioned to do air ambulance services for Native Alaskans who lived on reservations who didn't have access to hospitals. In the summers, they would put pontoons on the airplanes so they could land on lakes and rivers. And in the winter, they just switched out the pontoons for skis. So they didn't have any runways or any like formal infrastructure whatsoever.
Nice.
Bush pilots are insane. I dated somebody who used to do exactly this, flying medevac flights like that.
I was gonna say you put in the notes Bush pilots are insane. I should know, and I'm like, that's a considerably darker bit than I think most people realize.
No, I mean, when I lived in rural Idaho, it was for a pilot who flew the single pilot air ambulance services and did a lot of bush flying, and it was cool, but also you have to have a specific kind of death lust to do that job.
When I go when I'm a male stripper, I'm gonna botch this joke, but they call me the Bush pilot.
Thank you. Awful. Yeah. Okay.
Right, I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna get on a plane and I'm gonna come to your house and then I'm gonna like unplug cables from your computer at random. I will be right back.
I have redundancy.
And his hard drives are probably secure.
There is no spinning rust in here, Maya. It's all SSDs.
I'm glad you made those purchases before this year.
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker of mine who has recently got into hosting a media server. And gave him a torrent leech invite, and he was like, "Hey, thanks again. Like, any tips on how to set it up?" And he's just like, "Do you like coming to me because he's a social worker, so we have no money between us?" And he's just like, "Do you know like how much I paid for a hard drive that's now like $800?" I was like, "Yeah, you caught the last chopper out of Nom, dude.
Yeah,
it's never going back to normal."
I see my media server is all SSDs, but it's entirely thanks to I have a very nice girlfriend who has a stack of SSDs that she doesn't know what to do with, so I just kind of steal them as I need them.
Are we talking how many terabytes do you have on this?
2 terabytes each. I have 2 SSDs in the Plex server.
Oh, okay. We're on different orders of magnitude.
I do not run a mass thing. I don't have the internet bandwidth.
Okay, so we're on two different levels.
If I needed 16 terabyte drives right now, I would myself.
Yeah. Maya. I thought I had caught the last chopper out of Nom, and then I just downloaded 46 seasons of Saturday Night Live, which was a 2.5 terabyte torrent because I'm getting that ratio if it kills me. And I love you, 100 terabyte media server.
All right, the beer has hit my hand like Mjolnir. How are we doing?
Do you have a Plex server?
Hey, you got any hard drives?
Yeah, do you have any Roz needs them more than Nova does. Actually,
I have a lot of loose hard drives. No, I don't have a Plex server.
Do not kick that computer. Do not kick it.
No, I hate you too, buddy. No, I don't personally have a Plex server, but I'm in a polycule, which means I have access to like at this point 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it would be redundant. Roz, remind me to A, bring you a hard drive, and B, which is
no, fuck you. Give me access to your Plex server as well.
I thought you had it. Yeah, I'll do that tonight. But
you probably gave it to me and then I forgot because I have ADHD.
I'll just drop an invite link, a general invite link in the Discord. That's fine.
Sick.
All right. Good idea.
Yeah. Because Roz, I need you to set it up too because I got Freakazoid back on there for you.
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled non-Plex server program.
Yeah,
no, I will not use Jellyfin. No, I will not use Jellyfin. I paid for Plex Pass forever. Leave me alone.
I don't. Yes. I have no idea. I don't touch computers. I don't like them. I don't.
You have a CS degree.
I know. That's why I know well enough to stay the fuck away from it.
I have a political science degree and know not to touch anything in real world American politics.
Yeah. I have a criminology degree. I've never done any crimes.
Roz?
I touch bridges frequently.
I was just going to say, it's really funny that the FAA makes you have a clean bill of mental health to fly an airplane, and everybody who's ever flown bush backcountry piloting is suicidal to like the closest you can get without just opening up.
I mean, like
your
pilots
feel like it. You have to be, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Pilots' attitude to mental health, I assume, mirrors their attitude to physical health, which I assume mirrors For All Mankind Ed Baldwin season 1 through like 5 of just like, I'm not going to tell a flight surgeon shit. I will tell a flight surgeon less than a police detective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commercial aviation had to pretend to care about pilots' mental health after the 2 times in the 2010s that pilots killed a bunch of other people as well as themselves. But
you're flying single pilot.
Oh yeah, no, nobody ever gave a shit about that.
Yeah,
but nobody gives a shit about it for commercial pilots either. So it's kind of it's only really regulated because the FAA pretends it is.
Yeah, don't worry, Sean Duffy's on it. Anyway, next slide, please. Yeah. In 1932, in Anchorage, Alaska, rival airline Star Air Service is founded. There are now 3 airlines in Anchorage, Alaska. You might say that doesn't sound so bad. It's pre-war. There's it's all like tiny little planes.
Yeah, and like Alaska's like, you don't have good like ship traffic most of the year, you gotta fly shit in, you gotta fly shit out.
The highway is I assume not even a twinkle in Roz's eye yet.
Yeah, but as a reminder, during the 1930 census of Anchorage, they found 2,277 people there. So we have an airline for every 800 people, settlers living in Anchorage.
The keywords there are they found. The guy was a stowaway. Who knows who else is stowing away in Alaska at this point?
Yeah, and then the Depression happened, so they could not sustain the demand for 3 airlines for a town of fewer than 2. That's smaller than the town in Idaho I used to live in. It only had 1 charter service, and even then, just barely.
It's smaller than where I live currently.
So our hero McGee sells McGee Airways to Star Air Service in 1934 on the condition that if they don't pay him back in time, he could come back to manage the airline himself. Because I guess he just loved doing that shit. They fail to pay him back basically immediately, and so by 1936 he is running the airline again.
2:36 a.m. back for more airline.
I tried to figure out how he did this, but apparently by like 1937 or 8, he was making a profit of $190,000 a year, which is like $4.5 million today. There weren't 3,000 people in Anchorage by the end of the 30s.
Okay,
How was he doing this?
If I've learned anything about Alaska and my time on Earth, it's that nothing there makes sense, right? There is a decent chance that he convinced every person in Anchorage to like nominally buy 1 million bottles of whiskey a year by grabbing one of them as an example, freezing their hand to the side of a moose, and calling that Alaska law.
Yeah, that's honestly, that seems reasonable. I don't know. It just was crazy to me. Next slide, please.
Yes.
In 1937, McGee sells his company again to an old pilot friend of his, who then merges it with even more Alaskan air carriers. And at this point, they finally start scheduling service. They are no longer.
It's like slowly evolving to become a crab,
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is the thing, like Alaskans need like planes to not just fly, their sort of like obligatory 1 million bottles of whiskey in, but also to like fly out to the middle of nowhere to hunt things, to fly out to the middle of nowhere to do serial killings, to fly out to the middle of nowhere to do the plot of the Mark Wahlberg vehicle Flight Risk.
To fly out to the middle of nowhere and get eaten by a bear.
Yeah,
which you deserve.
Absolutely.
That happened to the congressman once, quite famously.
Well, in any case, they start scheduling actual flights.
Sorry, respectful pause for the bear-devoured congressman.
It could happen to any of us.
At any time.
Yeah.
By 1943, they have acquired their first twin-engine airplane. They go through 3 rounds of name changes over the course of the Second World War, making them potentially honorary transgender.
God damn it. The problem with this being a majority transgender podcast is that every joke I have queued up is going to be stolen from me by the other two transgender women.
This is the thing with also all of us being fans of Nova's podcasts for a very long time, is that we've all converged crab-like on the same sense of humor as well.
Fuck.
There was a bit on the recording of Be Gay Solve Crimes we did today where all 3 of us reached for the same self-deprecating joke. I've created my own prison here. I mean, the thing is, the Second World War really the making of Alaska, because the federal government went, wait, we've got a what?
Yeah.
In where? Sorry? What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's kind of next to Japan, relatively speaking, and Russia. Why don't we just throw some money at it, you know?
Yeah. Well, then they needed supplies and such. So the World War II was actually great for Alaska Airlines. In 1944, they changed name to Alaska Airlines, which they stay as for a while. They are Alaska Airlines now. And they use all of their money from the war to expand very aggressively. They buy more airplanes, including this DC-3 pictured here.
That is a gorgeous.
I think is beautiful.
I reached to call it a Dakota, but yeah, it is gorgeous.
I have seen a couple of these in person, and it makes you realize why people get so romantic about early air travel, because I know that the safety record was absolutely terrible, and a seat on a plane cost $20,000 or whatever, but that's a gorgeous coffin right there.
My least respectful joke. World War II paratroopers gay as hell for jumping out of a plane this beautiful.
I mean, I think my most problematic belief is that I could have been a really good golden jet age flight attendant. Because they would have been like, wow, look at that tall Greek woman. No more thoughts. I could have rocked the miniskirt really well. Anyway.
In the age of really heavily national based carriers, we need a trans 1960s airline. There's your next photo book concept, right?
I mean, you just bring back TWA.
God fucking damn
it. That's also a joke I wrote for later in this podcast, unfortunately.
Damn it. So after World War II, actually, they flew humanitarian aid missions for the Berlin airlift and Operation Magic Carpet.
Just you are about to receive a sort of sharp blow to the head from the rest of the century as you, starving German child, are struck and killed by a crate of pineapples kicked out the back of an Alaskan Dakota.
You have to teach Germans about Alaska.
Oh, they're gonna
they
learn.
Shouldn't know.
They learned about Texas and got really into it, so I assume they'd like Alaska.
Yeah, and then we got Hitler, who was really into his cowboy novel. So God only knows what this is gonna ring. Rort. I was gonna go. What this will present, future tense of wrought, I guess, and I couldn't think of it. So
what's the AFD's opinion about Alaska?
Weirdly expansionist.
Anyway, so by 1949, Alaska is the largest charter airline in the world, and then the feds shut them down because they've had too many safety violations.
Hell yeah. As you do.
They opened back up after we promise we'll stop violating laws. And by 1951, the Civil Aeronautics Board, which at this, in the post-war era was kind of the federal agency that was combination FAA and competition regulation because airlines.
Yeah, we talked about their role in sort of regulating airline sandwiches at one point on this podcast.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Yeah, they basically dictated, where you could fly and what kind of schedules you could operate on. They regulated mergers, all that kind of thing. But the CAB approved scheduled flights to Seattle and Portland. And that was a major turning point for them because there are actually people in Seattle and Portland. Next slide, please. This is just one of the prettiest airplanes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
This whole intro section was more or less like, yeah, this is an excuse to put pretty pictures of planes in the slideshow. In the 1950s, Alaska buys their first pressurized plane, a DC-6, so they could actually fly over weather instead of through it. Because again, we're in the early jet age, and this is a novelty. They also, aboard the DC-6, offer the Golden Nugget service that Liam had seen earlier, where the planes feature a honky-tonk saloon with a piano aboard.
That is so fucking cool. Do you have any photos of that?
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah,
don't worry.
Was there gambling?
Yes, there should have been.
I just love the idea of like you're a nervous flyer because you're sweating, you're having PTSD to like the Battle of the Coral Sea or some shit, and the fucking honky tonk piano stuff.
Yeah, just some guy absolutely ripping a nice that. Oh,
you're having flashbacks to your time backseating in like a Corsair. Does a Corsair even have a backseat? Whatever. Either way,
no one has anxiety because they're all smoking.
That's goddamn right.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, you're so right.
This problem had been solved. That was why the planes could fly through the weather, because no one cared about the turbulence.
Does smoking make you a better pilot?
Oh, yeah. Smoking, unfortunately, does make you better at everything.
Smoking makes you such a better pilot that China did not ban smoking on flight decks until 2019.
That was another thing about the NS Savannah, was all of the ashtrays. You would think it sounded like a bit we would do. The places there were ashtrays. Reactor control room, full of them. Engine room, full of them. I didn't see any in the reactor itself, but I wasn't looking hard enough at that point. But must have been half a dozen on the bridge. It was we used to have freedom.
And we can date this. China used to have freedom until 2019.
Yeah, this is where it's going to go downhill.
It's like there are a few things that make me not a kind of campist, that like obviously I believe in kind of like self-determination for anyone, and that therefore includes Taiwan. Obviously, I'm not thrilled about some of the LGBT repression. The forced labor in Xinjiang and Tibet is obviously terrible. And most of all, stopping pilots from smoking, as is their sort of God-given birthright,
Can I introduce you to the concept of buysnooze.com?
I don't.
That's right. Everyone's
Chinese pilot snooze.
Okay.
What we do is we take West Coast turnarounds, right? Trucker pills. We grind that up, right? And then we put that in some fermenting tobacco, right? We put it in your mouth, and then you're having a bad time.
After China wins the war and occupies America, because America fired all of its missiles at Iran for no reason, we will make good money under the occupation authorities selling their pilots snooze.
Yeah.
Over there, they got Zins now, but it's with an X instead of a Z.
I will say I did look into this, and it was banned in January 2019, but they actually had built in a grace period, but pilots got extremely mad about it and started flying planes rather dangerously because they were suffering from nicotine withdrawal.
Have you seen the packaging on Chinese cigarettes? No. Smoking one of those in the fucking sky? Like
they have flavored ones there too.
The neon blue cigarette pack with the gigantic golden horse on it, and you're just like in the sky lighting one of those. Oh my God.
Favorite thing is that where I work, we have a sizable Albanian population that comes into my center, and they'll run my my coworkers what I assume to be bootleg Albanian cigarettes. And that is those smell. Oh,
total respect for the nation of Albania.
All the stuff on Twitter going viral about Chinese technology, maglevs and stuff like that. It's like, no, let's talk about their cigarette technology.
Yeah.
Yo, for real.
Light years ahead of us.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you used to be able to buy non-US cigarettes from eBay as long as they were classified as like collectibles.
Yeah,
and
you used to do that with booze
I'm
too.
collecting all the smoke in my fucking lungs, dude.
You could do that with Chinese cigarettes, and you could do it with North Korean market cigarettes through imported through the Chinese gray market. And I'm only mad that they stopped before I started smoking.
China is going to invent the cigarette that's good for you.
I hope so.
Chairman Xi, please liberate my people.
Yeah. And then Cuba will invent the cigar that's good for you.
Yeah, they're called cigars.
I was going to say. Based on Castro's survival rate, that's just the cigar.
Actually true, yeah.
Anyway, the airplane. This is their first jet. This is Alaska Airlines' first jet, a Convair 880. Presumably they were blasting cigs while they were flying this thing because it looks cool as hell.
The smoke trail implies that the plane is also blasting cigs, importantly.
Yeah.
At this point in Alaska's history, they start to get weird. Stewardesses start dressing in themed outfits, usually paired with like the Gold Rush or something like that. That billboard from earlier in the episode was genuinely a flight attendant outfit. That was their gay 90s fly the golden nugget theme.
Getting served more ways than one, and like American cigarettes, brackets not Chinese yet, from a woman in a pioneer skirt and a fringed leather jacket.
I have feelings about this lady.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, I could have killed in this era.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up and examine that. I will see y'all later.
Skill issue, I would be totally into that. I'll fully admit that. That sounds awesome. Also, they began to deliver their safety presentations in rhymes.
No, they don't.
I did actually find one.
Oh, no, they didn't.
This is too fucking hokey. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like shoot the piano player out of the pressurized door, you know?
A life vest neat is beneath each seat. They're stored so we won't lose them. Now fix your eyes on the stewardies. They'll show you how to use them.
Let me out of the fucking plane.
Authentic country gibberish.
Open that fucking door.
That's right, folks. Punch, brothers. Punch with care. Punch in the presence of the passenger.
Next slide, please.
Do you remember that like couple of years where like every airline safety briefing was done in the style of like Nanette or whatever? Like,
well, they still do that in the U.S. because they try to get people to pay attention to them, and nobody does now that you can use your phone from gate to gate.
Yeah, cool. The United Airlines like international safety briefing has so much hokey shit in there. You can't fucking tell what the safety stuff is.
The Delta one right now is just an ad.
They should scare the shit out of you every time. They should make you watch the first scene of Flight.
Like to lose your spinal column? Because we'll fucking show you.
We're gonna make you watch a Mentor pilot episode about the exact aircraft you're in.
1080p mega mix of the one shot in Flight where the stewardess like bonks her entire spine off the ceiling of the plane and shatters it. Like, just run that a bunch of times, then be like, "Did we get you? Did we get you? Are you paying attention? Where's your fucking life jacket? Where is it? Where is it? How do you inflate it?
Are you going to bring your belongings with you in the event of an emergency evacuation?
Are you piece of shit?
You piece of shit? You want these people around you to die?
In your eyes?
What do you mean? Also, although I will say with American, the thing that because I live in Philadelphia, so I fly American.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Is the fucking like, oh, no smokeless tobacco in the laptop? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
You're just in there seething with your Zen and being like, this would never have happened to me if I was a Chinese pilot.
What harm is it doing? What harm is it doing? What am I doing? I can't pack my lips like a little chipmunk full of dipping tobacco and spitting it on the floor next to me. I thought we were in the saloon time.
Mentor pilot episode about an accident where one person died and it was the guy with a lip in. It just like shot back into his esophagus the second they like hit turpin.
It's just me like making the like dip gone sexy.
It's like the dip like shoots back in your throat, chokes you. They're like, is there a doctor on board? And nobody wants to do it because they don't want to like fish out your dip. So all of the doctors are like, no, my bad, sorry, I'm not.
You can gut. It's not that big a deal.
Oh God! In a pressurized environment as well.
Yeah. A man's got a gut where a man's got a gut.
It's the official motto of the U.S. Marine Corps. Anyone who tells you it's Semper Fidelis is lying.
This is gonna
actually,
get
if I
more
learned anything
interesting.
from Generation Killed, the motto of the Marine Corps is a man's got a gut where a man's got a gut, but it's in Dominican Spanish.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
Oh,
wow.
Salty snail.
In the 1970s, Alaska Airlines becomes the sole charter company that can fly direct to the Soviet Union. They offer flights to Siberia.
They got a samovar.
Yeah. In honor of this, they offer what they were calling the Golden Samovar service. This is a picture with one of the weird. I think it was DC-9. I don't remember which.
Okay, so
707.
All of this airline shit, right? Like the CAB actually was an example of big government stifling private innovation because the second they got out of the airline regulating business, every airline did some shit that was suggested by Don Draper in one of his more like psychological episodes.
This is still pre-deregulation. This is like 1970.
They showed this to the like board of Mormons in charge of all air travel, every one of whom believed that like a plane is a kind of cursed animal, and when we want to do like a big T-urn, and those guys went, yeah, sure.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like they mostly do like this kind of like weird cutesy stuff because it's like they fly to Seattle, and they've lost the Portland flight at this point. And so they're like, okay, we'll do something to like advertise the fact that we can fly you to Siberia, which I think they flew like 7 total flights ever to the Soviet Union.
Yeah, do you know how heavy a samovar is?
I like the wallpaper.
Yeah, they would
Check
serve
out
you
the wallpaper.
Oh,
they would serve you
that
cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, king crab, fresh salad, veal, and pecan pie, followed up with fresh fruit and cordials, and all of the flight attendants wore caustic outfits.
Being a man of this generation, realizing you have to theme your sexual harassment of the flight attendant to the fucking hokey outfit, being like, oh fuck, I didn't have a line for if she was wearing a big Cossack hat.
Once
hey, how would you like to lick my Cossack? Easy peasy.
Oh my god,
he's good.
Once they cross the international date line, though, the service is just straight vodka.
And cigarettes.
As it should be on
cigarettes.
any flight ever.
They unbolt all of the seats. You've just got to squat on your heels.
It's the vomit comment, but involuntarily.
Yeah, they notably, this isn't really required to understand like the plane crash that the episode is nominally about. I just really wanted to work this in because it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Well
done.
The main thing that you do
done.
have to know is that like the airline is financially struggling because they can fly. They have a bunch of flights in Alaska which don't make very much money, and then they fly to Seattle. And
yeah,
that's
and
their
plus
entire
they did
route
a bunch
map.
of capex on samovars.
Yeah. and the Civil Aeronautics Board won't let them enter new markets until next slide, please. Again, just continuing the theme of showing off really gorgeous airplanes.
It's
Put
the
the guy
guy
on the
It's
tail.
The guy is here, yes.
Thumbs down.
No, it's a guy plus Helvetica. What else do you want?
Yeah, that's very nice.
There's one airline that gets to use Helvetica. It's Swissair. Swissair doesn't even exist anymore.
Well,
What about
so what's the harm in
Lufthansa?
Alaska doing it?
Lufthansa still uses Helvetica, don't they?
They fucked up their livery too, so they don't get to use anything.
Oh god damn it. I need that to get on a Lufthansa flight before they stop flying the 747 because I've never been on one, and if they retire them before I get to fly on one, I'm gonna be really sad.
I didn't just hear you, Justin Robsniak, talk about how I need to get on a flight to fly the 747. I know man who would not stop complaining about domestic air travel.
Oh, I hate flying. I just want to go on a 747.
Yeah,
All right,
same.
you know what,
Ultimately, see, the thing is, right? The good news is that they're only replacing them once they get the 777Xs, so they will have them until the end of time.
I've flown on a 747 because I'm old, and I remember it as
You're also European.
And yeah, it was an Air India flight between London and Newark, I want to say. And I mostly remember it as like a kind of football stadium's like size of seats that just went on forever. It was very, very confusing. It was like the back rooms.
Well, so in the 70s, they start floating the idea of the Airline Deregulation Act and the abolishment of the Civil Aeronautics Board. And Alaska is one of 3 airlines out of like the dozens and dozens and dozens operating the American market to actually support this, because they did correctly surmise that, hey, we could probably make more money if we were allowed to fly to places other than a bunch of small Alaskan cities and Seattle. So when they finally abolished the CAB in 1978, Alaska begins aggressively expanding. They reopen flights to Portland, then San Francisco, then Burbank, Palm Springs, Nome, which I can't believe they didn't have to begin with because that's in Alaska.
Yeah, that is weird, actually.
Yeah, they still kept the dog sled, for tradition.
Nostalgia purposes, sure.
Yeah.
Do they ticket that as the same connection or like?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm landing in Fairbanks, and then I've got a layover, and then I pick up the dog sled.
There's a little icon on the planning thing, and it just says self-transfer, but there's a dog there.
Yeah, and then they add airports in Idaho. I think Boise. I couldn't figure out exactly which one. It's Idaho. There's only one major airport.
Flying to Nome and then making all of the stewardesses wear puppy girl hoods.
That's it. We're saving that for the trans air carrier.
That's true. Yeah, that's a TWA
Well, they don't have to wait
thing.
for Nome to do that.
What?
They don't have to wait to Nome to switch into the puppy girl hoods.
I suppose.
I'm
sorry. I'm doing my best to keep up with the humor here, but I'm still trying. I'm trying.
Sorry.
No,
we're on slide 11 of 27 here.
Most of them are mine.
Anyway, they also buy regional carrier Horizon Air. They offer short hop service around the Pacific Northwest. Crucially, through this time, as they are expanding aggressively, they went through a machinist strike, which they beat back with scab labor and instituted a very unfair 2-tier pay structure to undercut the people they had to hire back when the strike ended. They are basically just like, at how much can we cut costs to make more money mode. This is relevant later, as you might expect. They start offering service to Canada and Mexico. They do really well for the most part. Like, Alaska profits incredibly well from the Airline Deregulation Act. One of the very few airlines to do so. Next slide, please.
Okay, I like this one apart from the guy.
There's nothing. The font is like, they have the font, yeah, but the guy is like 90% of it.
Yeah. I'm always happy. When I was a kid, I was always happy to see the guy at the airport.
Yeah, I think this is great. Like, I think they should go back to this font. Actually, this is a much better font.
When I was a kid, Alaska was one of the airlines that did a deal with Matchbox for the little diecast planes. So I'm very familiar with like every livery they had in like 2005.
In 1990, Alaska starts structuring their new airplane lease deals so they can use preferred stock to finance the planes that they're buying, which are all 737s. Alaska very famously had an all Boeing fleet until they acquired Hawaiian, and now they've got Airbuses. And it's
they had an all. Sorry.
Ish.
Yeah, I was gonna say they acquired Virgin America and got Airbuses, realized they hated them and sold them within a year, and then bought another airline with Airbuses.
But they're probably keeping them this time because Boeing can't build airplanes anymore.
Oops.
Correct.
Anyway, so they give the conversion rights to common stock for this financing deal to management employees, so they have a direct motivation to juice stock prices, and they also begin stock buybacks in 1990. Shockingly, they post a loss of $121 million in 1992. They blame their expansion for this, but I think I know what I'm going to blame. I'm laying this lack of profitability and the subsequent fatalities from it solely at the feet of stock buybacks.
Yeah, well, I mean, shouldn't have legalized those.
What if we financialized the airline, and then as the thing continues nosediving, you're like, what if like I don't know, I don't understand. We cut everything, like that. We're not spending any money on anything. Why are we losing money?
Well, this is kind of like, I mean, I maintain that like the good timeline that we could have like had in America that somehow sort of wasn't as hellishly evil. That died with the Patco strike failing. When Reagan broke the air traffic controller strike, that was kind of the end of any chance that America could ever become anything better than what it is. And like a lot of this is a very similar kind of story because like Reagan was who allowed stock buybacks, and you know a lot of the story of the 80s and 90s for Alaska is they broke strikes very aggressively, both with their machinists and with their flight attendants. They do another one in the 90s as part of their campaign to cut costs as much as possible. They also, crucially, canceled building 2 planned maintenance facilities because if you are maintaining an airplane, you can't be flying it. So that costs money. Well, never maintain. Just keep the planes in the air. That's how you make more money.
Just keep the engines turning. Nothing bad will happen.
Yeah.
Like me never shutting down my computer.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's fine.
It isn't though.
Well, and see, this is the thing that's fucked up. Is that like in the same way that November's computer is still working, Alaska begins to make a ton of money again through the 90s after doing a bunch of strike breaking and not building facilities to fix the fucking airplanes. Short term, this is awesome. And
this engine hasn't been shut off in 500 days.
At this point, I will be
the engine hours just have frowny faces on them.
At this point, I'll be announcing to my co-pilot Maya that I am hands off the controls and confirming that she is ready to take the yoke.
Yeah, that's fine. I could be first officer for this at least, since I don't know. So in order,
the rest of us are just in the jump seats.
That's a lot of jump seats.
No, it's like one of those old school planes. They got like 5 different. They got like the flight engineers also up front. We got like 9 engines.
Yeah, we got radio operator. We got bombardier.
You can be in the jump seat. I'm in the like rest cabin for crew, just like snuggling under like 50 blankets. This is great. I'm having a great time.
Where are Roz and I in this scenario?
I don't know. I mean, sort of battering feverishly on the like door.
Trying to cram a lip in. Trying to figure out how I can dip with one of those oxygen masks.
Stewardess. I saw a podcast with a lip in on the wing.
So yeah, Alaska. They made a bunch of money by breaking up. The real crucial part of this, I didn't need to tell you that Linus McGee founded it. I just thought that was funny. I'm sorry. The real crucial bit that you need to know here is that they made a lot of money by not doing maintenance, a thing that has never come back to haunt anyone ever, actually.
So
it usually works.
This was the style of the time, actually, of 80s and 90s aviation. This is just one of the many examples of it. It's just one of the ones we know a little bit more about ultimately.
Well, yeah, because Denzel Washington was flying a plane.
Yeah, it's because everyone had to switch from cigarettes to cocaine.
Yeah, and like consequently everything was being run by the like Wayland Yutani guy from Aliens, or like any of the executives from RoboCop or RoboCop 2.
Okay, so next slide I think is where I pick up.
Yep.
Drop the landing gear. You have 5 seconds to comply.
The first question we must ask before we get to this specific accident is, what are elevators and vertical stabilizers?
Hey, I've seen this diagram before.
Yeah, the wiggly bits that make the plane stay in the thing.
Yeah, that's basically about it. Actually, I'm writing this.
Isn't it a horizontal stabilizer, not a vertical stabilizer?
So the horizontal stabilizer is, unless I got them backwards. Let me make sure I didn't real quick. The horizontal stabilizer. Please don't tell me I got this backwards. I did get it backwards. Son of a bitch. The horizontal stabilizer. The vertical stabilizer is the tail.
just hearing this on an open mic from the cockpit as the plane slowly starts to pitch into a dive.
You'll also notice that the diagram says horizontal stabilizer on it.
I'm like smashing a chair against the door at this point.
All of the notes say horizontal stabilizers. I just fucked it up the one time and threw myself off. The long and short of it is that they decide what makes the plane go up and down. You trim the horizontal stabilizer, which is the very large part of it, at the front, and then there's the elevators at the back of it, which is what you are actually controlling in order to from the cockpit in order to determine pitch. Pull up, and the elevator makes the plane go up.
I was always confused as a kid playing like Flight Simulator that flaps were something different from this, because these are all flaps, right?
Yes.
Like mechanically you are changing some flaps here, but these aren't the flaps that are called flaps.
Yeah, these Transworld Airlines DC-9s visible here. You can see how this one, the one in the front, has been trimmed because the paint on the red paint stripe on the back doesn't line up slightly because it's been pitched downwards. Trimmed downwards, I should say. This is basically just the way you keep the plane stable in flight whenever you're not putting control inputs on it. Stable and level and pointing in the direction you want it to, at the angle you want it to, rather. I've included a very friendly diagram. It's basically you have one end of it attached to a pivot point, and the other end is attached to a jack screw, which is controlled by a motor that makes it go up or down. You can control that either by buttons on the yoke. They call it a pickle switch because it's underneath where your thumb sits naturally. Which made I had to Google what that meant, and which made me even more confused because, of course, that means the thing that you drop the bomb with.
Okay, sure. Back when all pilots were like ex-bomber pilots.
Yes. And actually
or like now.
I was going to say our two crew, the two crew we're dealing with today are in fact ex-bomber pilots.
Wait, why do they call it? That doesn't help me understand why they call it a pickle switch, though.
So I actually don't know why they called it the pickle switch originally. They just called it that in commercial aviation because it sits under your thumb on the yoke. And that's whenever you were holding the trigger to drop the bomb, you held it under your thumb.
Oh, okay.
They got it from there. I don't know what the relevance of the pickle part is. I just included it because I was also very confused.
Is the bomb the pickle?
That might be the answer, actually.
When I want to engage in sexual intercourse with my wife, I say drop the bomb, and I mean my pickle.
Oh,
apparently it derives from a like sort of claim of the accuracy of the Norden bomb sight that it could drop a bomb from 20,000 feet into a pickle barrel.
Fascinating.
Okay.
The Norden bomb sight is going to be an episode in its own right.
I have a feeling that didn't work as well as advertised.
No, it did not. But
neither did this. That's the problem.
I have here in front of me a picture of a bomb going into a pickle barrel trophy awarded to a general for commanding the strategic bombing campaigns.
Was it full of pickles at least whenever he got it?
God, I hope so.
Yeah. What would be the point otherwise?
Dill or kosher?
That's also good. Bread and butter pickles.
Yeah.
You control it via either the pickle switch, which is under your thumb on the yoke on Boeing and McDonnell Douglas aircraft, obviously not Airbus aircraft. Or you control it with big, chunky manual handles down at the center console where the throttle, not center console, that's a car part. Down where the throttles are. I guess it's kind of where a center console would be on a plane, but big.
Yeah, check the owner's manual real quick, would you? I'm not sure how to pitch this plane.
I have the owner's manual for this aircraft and did look at it for this slideshow. So on the DC-9 and its many children, which includes the MD-80, relevant for today, this was a design that was created in the 1960s. And then McDonnell Douglas just sort of built derivatives of it until they got bought by Boeing, and then Boeing built derivatives of it until 2006. The horizontal stabilizer is attached to the jack screw by virtue of 3 nuts, the 2 retaining nuts that are at the end of the jack screw, and the actual load-bearing Acme nut that actually moves the thing. It's responsible for making it go up and down.
I'm so proud of us for making it through load-bearing nut with nary a smile.
I was gonna say, I was rotating in my mind a callback to Three Ball Anderson, but I couldn't figure it out fast enough.
Yeah, Three Nuts Anderson.
Baby. No walks, baby.
The thing here about the jack screw, of course, is that, this is a sort of very high precision adjustment method. It because you get so little motion from the horizontal stabilizer per rotation of the jack screw, it makes it very good for these, set and forget tiny adjustments like trim, which ultimately have like very large effects. A very small motion of the horizontal stabilizer is going to have a large effect on the aerodynamics of the aircraft.
And you have to motorize this because it's under like a ton of force because you're moving like a heavy mechanical part that's like under stress from like, air moving over it very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it just all depends on the conditions of the air you're flying in and the conditions you are flying the plane at. It all depends. There's no constant to it. So it gets adjusted constantly. Just little tiny bits, but it gets adjusted, and that tends to put stress on things, which we will get to later. For now, next slide.
I like the guy less in black and white because he looks like Che Guevara.
This is an Inuit Che Guevara.
Here's the exact plane in question. This is N953AS, a McDonnell Douglas MD-83, first delivered brand new to Alaska Airlines on May 27th, 1992, which was 7 years to the day before I was born. At some point in the mid-90s.
1999,
I was about to say,
I'm so mad.
Also,
sorry.
You should be.
Get these kids off my podcast.
I'm just chilling here. Born in 1990, motherfucking one.
Yeah, you and I both, sister. You're not special.
Yeah. You ever been to a pre-9/11 airport where you just walk around and look at all the planes?
Yeah, Maya would know what that's like because she was in utero.
And you could see the guy on the tail, and you're like, I know that guy.
Well, for a while, Pittsburgh had it so you could go through and look at the planes whenever you didn't have a ticket, and walk around. But you did have to go through TSA, which was
Philly has that, I believe.
I think a lot of I know SeaTac does, which is interesting because that's a really bad airport.
Dulles, they used to let you go all the way into like the outfield terminals, and then now they don't let you do that anymore.
On British airports, they used to let you just walk into the cockpit and like press stuff,
SeaTac is bad, but they do have woke bathrooms, which I really appreciate.
That much is nice. But
they're like the one airport in America that's like, yeah, it turns out that actually men and women's rooms don't really need to exist. We'll just make the doors go to the floor, and then you can just do your business. It's great.
It is great. Unfortunately, as I'm only whenever I'm in the airport, half the time I've just flown into there, and the airplane also has woke bathrooms, so I don't need it as much. But alas, at some point in the mid-90s, Alaska added the sticker to make the guy say thanks. I don't know why they did that. I couldn't find any reasoning for it. I just thought it was funny, so I put a picture of it here.
Funny is to imagine that plane crashing, like with the thanks on there.
It might have. I don't actually know for sure.
Just like augers in, and the last thing to hit dirt is the thanks guy.
That's the one piece of the wreckage they recover intact. It's just a guy going.
That's all, folks.
What an insulting way to die. My dad had a shirt with the atom bomb on it that just said "That's all, folks," which is apparently an anti-nuclear shirt. That he just got
pro-nuclear. He sounds like a Posadist now.
Yeah, it was like that's all, folks. I was like, doesn't that kind of endorse the atom bomb? And he was like, no, because it's about total destruction. That's bad. And I was like, are you sure? And he goes, I don't know.
I love the idea of going to one store that's like all atom bomb theme, and they mix up the racks between the pro and anti atom bomb merch. So you walk out like a committed anti-nuke activist wearing your like, I thought Hiroshima was great.
This is the world building of the Fallout TV series.
All right, Jeff Bezos, you space pervert, give us $10 billion. They gave the Kelsey brothers $100 million for what? Give us $100 million. I can find ways to jerk off with $100 million. Fuck off.
This plane was delivered with Alaska's then new livery, pictured here, but also the new interior, which also looks insane, although in a much different way. I couldn't fit it on the slide, but I put a link in the notes if you click that.
Oh yeah, let me see this shit.
Oh, sick! This rules.
Yeah.
It's like woven like blankets and stuff. It's like very like sort of like native inspired like embroidery.
Apparently this is you can still find these on some of the very old 737 700s.
Oh, this slaps. This looks sick.
Oh, this is very good. Yeah, I like this.
So I couldn't find a higher resolution picture. This is from a magazine scan promoting the new interiors. Good to know they're still out there, I guess.
I'd be so psyched if I got that. The modern Alaska interiors are so dripless.
Yes, I've never flown Alaska. I will in a week from tomorrow, but you know.
You've never flown Alaska?
I live on the East Coast as of this moment in time.
You're dating like 6 women here.
Yeah, and I've always flown Delta because it's cheaper.
Once you move here, you become an Alaska Airlines like supremacist.
I look forward to that, but
I swore I only flew Delta before I moved to Seattle, and I was like, I'll never fly anybody else. And then I flew Alaska a bunch, and now I'm like, actually, they're pretty great. I think it's something in the water. Like, it really is kind of concerning because I genuinely was pretty militantly pro Delta, and now I'm like, well, to be fair, they do also run a hub in a state I'm not allowed to piss in, so that does make me like them less. But you know,
well, and also they're based out of Atlanta, which is an inherent negative factor for any company. But to be fair, it's better than Dallas, which is where American's based out of.
I fly United because I want the security that if someone misbehaves, they will break that guy's arm.
I had never flown out of Dallas before. So I was in Austin last weekend. Last weekend? Was I in Austin? No, 2 weekends ago. With Jay, Megan, and Ren. And we flew to Dallas, and the rental car situation there is fucking insane, where they're just like, all right, so what we're gonna do, right, is put you in like a brownfield and 900 miles away from the fucking airport and put you on a shuttle bus and just hope you make your flight. And I was just like, you're a fucking international hub, dipshits. Like, fucking get a trip. Get a tram. Get a fucking tram and put me on it. I want a seat. I want to fucking sit down. I don't want to stand on a bus. I want to fucking sit down on a train. This is not an unreasonable demand.
You're gonna hate it when you come here. But
I don't know. I've been to the Glasgow airport, and it is nowhere near as hateful as DFW. Dallas is a pit from which no joy has ever escaped.
Okay, but consider Glasgow Airport, but if it was like 50 degrees
because
hotter.
It's hell.
I wanted to go to the Cowboys Lounge so bad and just be like, oh, have you guys been relevant since the mid-90s? Everyone in this bar should commit like mass ritual suicide right now.
I liked the
Jerry Jonestown massacre.
Yeah.
I like the Edinburgh airport because it looked like the Top Gear Technology Center.
Everything in this country is a metal shed now, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, we're talking about Alaska Airlines, right?
Yes.
See, I flew Delta because they're like cheap basic tickets were good, but now they've watered them down and made them useless. So you're probably right about the Alaska thing. In any case, by the day of the accident, this aircraft had accumulated 26,584 flight hours. This will be a relevant number later. You don't need to remember the exact number. A ballpark is fine.
Yes, you do.
I won't.
This will be on the test.
No, I barely remember where my life jacket is. I barely remember that.
Yeah, were you paying attention to the
take all my belongings with me.
Don't do that.
No,
do not do this.
I'm sitting in an exit row and I'm not paying attention to how
I'm not willing to assist.
If you're going, just staring at the flight attendant like, you can fucking make me. I paid for this ticket.
I'm doing civil disobedience in the exit row.
If you're going back for your possessions, can you give me my tin of dip?
I'm in the exit row. I've got my arms folded and I'm saying to the flight attendant that Marcus Aurelius said that things in themselves have no power to demand an opinion from me.
I always assist if I'm in the exit row unless I'm on a Southwest flight, and then I assume I'm taking out a large chunk of the Republican donor base if I impede the emergency evacuation.
just like hands up, like face guarding fellow passengers in the exit row. Like no. Hand down, man down, Vicky. We can do this.
last time I was in the exit row, when the flight attendant asked if I was willing to assist in an emergency, I was like surprisingly emphatically, I would love to.
You're just like flying domestic. You hate it. You're just like praying God you get an emergency so that you have you can get off the plane.
Get off the
faster.
plane, right?
Yeah, exactly. I want to throw that door out of existence.
At what point, while assisting passengers, can you put in a lip?
And the thing is, when you're doing that, you also get to start calling yourself a plane crash survivor, like I always say you should do when your plane's delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This is fantastic. This
No,
is
I mean
huge for the
that's. I
program.
think I told you this week, Nova. I was like, obviously, there are lots of horrible ways to die young, but I feel like a top pick for me would be as the subject of a "Well, There's Your Problem" episode.
That goes through my
tragedy
head.
that would be caused by cost cutting invariably, but like
any time I use any method of transport or anything happens, I go, they're gonna have to make an episode about how I die when it happens.
Yeah, we will.
yeah. If your fellow podcaster falls, pick up their mic and keep charging.
Yeah, and like the most recent time I almost died, I almost got hit by a speeding car, and it's just
God, that
like
was
you would have
scary.
to do like a multiple hour episode about like I don't know, like car centric cities or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
I'm
leading
so
into
ready.
like me getting wiped the fuck out by like somebody's SUV.
Okay, well, please don't die.
Yeah, try
I'll do
not
my
to.
best.
I will say that if you die, I am releasing the poison pill episode. No
Okay,
Patreon money
sure.
for anyone.
That's fine. That's allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're releasing the what episodes?
The poison pill episode.
We
Yeah.
released a kind of mutual. We didn't release it. We have a series of kind of like mutual blackmail episodes with all of our most like cancelable opinions.
Yeah.
They're just like ready to go at any time.
The Lost Cause, Israel is good, actually.
Devin, please bleep all of these, but that also means that you are now in on the blackmail material. So all the best.
I'd like it noted that I'm a perfect sweetie who only has perfect opinions. Nobody can get mad at me.
No, that is true. That's 100% true.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely accurate.
Now,
Nobody
us,
even
on the
got
other
mad
hand-
at me for the fact that I hate NATO, so like I feel kind of unkillable after that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, someone was very critical of you on the Well, There's Your Problem Twitter account today.
Well, they're still on fucking Twitter, so I don't give
Yeah,
a shit.
they said you regurgitated U.S. Department of State propaganda. That may have been for me. I don't know.
About what?
I don't know. I think it was probably for
what-
me. It's
What
probably
the
me because
hell
I
am
defended.
I
because we
regurgitating for the U.S.
defended-
Department of
because we
State?
defended it. I don't know.
You regurgitated the State Department propaganda that if you're sitting in an exit row, you have to assist with the evacuation.
Yeah.
Like, wake up,
So-called
sheeple.
free thinkers with
Free thinkers, yeah.
Avoid the crowd.
Marco Rubio thinking, my child will assist with an evacuation when they're seated in an emergency exit room.
This is our ultimate cancelable situation is when we do our pivot to open source intelligence.
Oh god, yeah. No,
Everyone dead,
I won't
frowny face.
I won't assist with the emergency evacuation until I finish this land acknowledgement.
Wouldn't it be well, I guess no, you'd be landed. It wouldn't be, I was thinking a sky acknowledgement.
We're about to hit the unceded lands of such and such a people,
Sorry, guys. Our bad.
Problem if there were like a bunch of tribes in like close proximity.
Just trying to run it out. Run
That
out the
should
clock
be
as you
listen,
fucking
woke 2. I want that as a tab on the like seat back thing. Is like you've got
absolutely.
your fucking in-flight entertainment, you've got the map, and then you've also got the map with the land acknowledgements.
It can say in the top bar that's always there with like the time and the flight time on it, which
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
rotates. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm done with that slide. Next slide, please.
Okay, good.
So-
Sure.
Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show.
I have to keep track of where I am, and I'm doing it with a piece of paper in front of me because of how often we get sidetracked.
You are a brave soul, Maya.
I try to come prepared to these things, which is weird because it's more prepared than I was
an exit row.
More prepared than I was for 4.5 years of college, but never mind.
Well, because this has consequences.
I feel like when I first started doing episodes on here, I was like very prepared, and I feel like I've gotten less prepared every single time.
This is what we do. We drag you down to our level, and that's why the people love us.
I'm trying to just I try to maximize the number of weird guys I can talk about per episode. That's kind of my goal here.
It's a good bit. She doesn't want me to stoop to their level, but what she doesn't know is I've been stupid my whole life.
So on January 31st, 2000, Alaska Airlines Flight 261, scheduled to fly from Licenciado Gustavo Diaz Ordaz International Airport in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico.
Is that the Next Generation or original series?
I note here that Gustavo Diaz Ordaz Bolaños, considered one of the most unpopular and controversial modern Mexican presidents. So flying out of Donald Trump International Airport in Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, I mean, that's what National is going to be called in a few months. So
I thought he wanted to rename Dulles.
I always get the two confused because I hate them both.
Yeah, I don't know that an airport named after Alan Dulles is much better.
No.
From Puerto Vallarta in Mexico to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. With a stopover in San Francisco, carrying 83 passengers and 5 crew under the command of Captain Ted Thompson and First Officer William Tansky. Departed Puerto Vallarta at 1:37 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sorry, I'm trying to do Spanish pronunciation in the same sentence as English pronunciation. It's not coming out too good.
Oh, yeah, it's a brain cooker.
I'd like to apologize to my dear girlfriend Emma, who was probably in pain right now, but never mind. Never mind. The scheduled flight time for Puerto Vallarta to San Francisco was a little under 4 hours. Sometime before 3:49 p.m. We don't know when because cockpit voice recorders at this point in time only recorded up to about a half an hour.
That's insane.
Taping over my cockpit voice recorder
sitting in the cabin. That's all we can store too.
What? Really? When was that changed? Was that a result of this or?
It probably. So I don't know for sure. I'm guessing. I probably should have phrased this better. Most times the aircraft is only subject to the standards when it was built. So this would only be subject to the standards from 1992, which admittedly not that far before this, and still pretty damn low. Ultimately, actually, what is it right now? Never mind. I don't have time to Google that.
No, that's fine. I'll Google that on my own time. That's nuts. Thank you for
I mean, whenever they're recording to magnetic tape in a big box that they need to insulate pretty well, I can kind of understand it from a practicality standpoint.
Tape drives are cheap, man.
Well, they were at the time, but you know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's okay. I realized I should have written that better whenever you asked that because
Maya, you do so much prep for these. Are you kidding me? You have the best written slides I've ever seen on this show.
Thank you.
Roz is sitting right there crying himself.
Okay, but like Roz knows everything, so
that
it's like
true.
there's
true.
there's 2/3 of a Roz episode is like in his head. This notes are kind of to prompt him.
Short, yeah, it's cuneiform. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Maya's are like actually like written in a way that if
they
we did
extended it from half an hour to 2 hours in 1995.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Oh, in celebration of my birthday.
Yeah.
Stop it.
You're so young, Jesus.
It's right now in the U.S. It's going to become 25 hours in sometime later this year. So that's an idea of how that technology has progressed. It's been 25 hours in Europe.
They were going to do it until the hard drives can't get them anymore. Now they're like, nah, we're going back to an hour.
Gonna double the price of the airplane.
At some point before 3:49, the cockpit crew noticed that the horizontal stabilizer was jammed in the nose downward position. No, don't know why I'm gesturing as if people could see. Never mind. So they proceeded to open a radio link with Alaska Airlines dispatch and maintenance facilities in Seattle and Alaska operations and maintenance in Los Angeles, where they were considering diverting to because they were relatively close to it at this point, and were just sort of crossing into American airspace from Mexican airspace. After spending a fair amount of time messing about with the switches, both the suitcase handles and the pickle switches, running through their checklist and generally figuring out that there's not much that they could do to fix it, they start trying to plan out a diversion to Los Angeles, given that the aircraft is still controllable, albeit requiring full manual control, and they also have to put a significant amount of body weight into actually pulling the control column backwards.
Ooh, yeah, no, yeah. This is like heavy work, you know? Just wrestling this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the whole point of trim is that you don't have to put continuous force on the control yoke, but now of course they're working against it, so they do have to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's
Thank
like
you, Roz, for proving my point, and you somehow inexplicably know everything.
It's like you think you're just doing a regular 4-hour run from Puerto Vallarta to Seattle, and now you have been enlisted in like Pete Hegseth's TikTok pull-up challenge.
Yes,
in jeans.
This is two podcasts.
These guys were probably
week.
doing it in like pressed slacks, you know?
This is two podcasts this week that have referred to RFK Jr.'s jeans that I've been on.
I'm sorry.
I think they should have like a wedge for this situation. This kind of situation, you can just shove it in there.
Just rigging it up with a bunch of like bungee cords, like an elastic band on an Xbox controller when you're trying to get a difficult achievement.
Yeah, you can probably MacGyver this.
Is there a MacGyver on the plane? Sorry, hold on. I can actually do this with my gimmick mic. Is there a MacGyver on the plane? if anyone on board is a MacGyver, please make yourself known to the flight attendants.
Passengers, this is the purser. I would just like to ask if there's anyone well versed in MacGyver tactics on board the plane.
Oh my god!
Excuse me, stewardess. I'm a member of the A-team.
You got very distant there.
Is
the plane going down? Nova.
No, I was like, excuse me, stewardess. I'm a member of the A-team, and it's like, yeah, sure, and I've got a PhD. It's like, it doesn't really count when we said doctor, you know?
No, that's a really good sign if you're a member of the A-team. That means whatever happens, no one dies.
Everyone rolls clear of the accident.
Yeah.
It's like dusting themselves off. It's like, oh, damn. I love it when a plane comes apart.
Okay, next slide, please. This one's a bunch of text on a screen, so I apologize. But Alaska Airlines dispatch in Seattle were very opinionated about how this would disrupt their flight operations. Telling them, there was a flow control program in effect at San Francisco, and it would be an hour or more before they could depart again after landing. Generally, sort of pushing them in the direction of continuing to fly to San Francisco.
Yeah, this is an interesting example of sort of I don't know what you would call this kind of interference, right? But on the transcript, dispatch tells them if you want to land in LA, of course, for safety reasons, we will do that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tell you though that if you land in LA, we'll be looking at an hour to an hour and a half. To which they respond, boy, you put me in a spot here.
Yeah, and the crew were not particularly happy about this. As you can see, 10 minutes later, they're still talking about it.
The thing that's funny here is that the response, I really didn't want to hear about the flow being the reason you're calling us, because I'm concerned about overflying suitable airports. That's the maddest that guy was ever in his whole life.
Oh, yeah. In the Chuck Yeager voice, just like full pilot, just like, what the fuck did you just say to me about the white zone being for loading and unloading?
That's like somebody from Minnesota telling you, like, hey, I think that you're being a little rude here. They want to kill you with their bare hands.
I really didn't want to hear about this, you know?
For reference here, a flow control program is basically air traffic control, saying, okay, there's too many fucking planes trying to take off and land. We got to do something about this.
The separation.
Yeah, you got to mess with the airport capacity. You got to mess with landing slots. You got to do a whole bunch of different stuff.
If you get stuck at your departure airport for an extended period of time on the ground, but not moving, and there's no adverse weather conditions or anything, it's usually because of this.
It's a great example of like, hey, technically, man, you're pilot in command of the aircraft, and you get to do whatever you want for safety reasons. We're just saying that it's going to be really fucking annoying.
Yeah, he says we just want to make sure you have all the info.
Yes, so I just want you to know. Put the plane down, please.
I just want you to know that, like, if you exercise your kind of like absolute sort of responsibility and discretion and control of the aircraft, then you are gonna kind of like piss in my cornflakes here.
Also notable is that San Francisco had much more significant wind conditions at this specific point in time, whilst Los Angeles had basically none. And whenever you have to control the aircraft by putting your full body weight on the column, you tend to want the least adverse set of conditions as possible.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be sort of like landing this aircraft with me and my co-pilot hanging off the yokes like pull-up bars. That's an interesting condition.
That's bad, right?
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, as he says here at the end, it was a 90-degree crosswind at 10 knots.
Fuck that. No, thank you. That's the kind of shit that brings out guys with like long lenses now to like take video and kind of hopes that you eat shit. They don't say it. They're always like, oh, we just want to like celebrate how good the pilots are, and we do like a nice little round of applause every time they make it. But it's like, no, you want to be there in case one of them eats shit.
I want to see
it's like watching
sloppy
NASCAR,
landing.
you know?
Yeah.
You
want to see
hoping
a tire blowout.
Yeah.
I want to see pieces.
By 3:57, they've made the decision to divert to Los Angeles and start preparing for that, although while still trying to get in touch with a flight instructor as a last resort for shit that they can do to actually get the stabilizer to move.
Climb out on the wing, put a lip in, climb out on the back and like hit it with a hammer,
The whole time they're trying to get it unstuck by, well, I want to say whatever they can, but whatever they can is just the two switches that they've already tried. But they do keep at it for quite a while. Notably in excess of what the checklists told them to do. And this will come up later as something that we have learned as a result of this accident, which is to not do more than the checklist says. But of course, that could easily be blamed on the fact that Seattle was like, hey, would you like to not land this aircraft and continue flying it, actually?
Yeah, can I invite you to please not do the thing?
Yes.
Go away. I don't want to see you.
You suck.
I have an avoidant attachment style.
Again, as we learned earlier in this episode, if you have to do maintenance on the plane, you're losing money.
Yes.
Keep the plane in the fucking air. That's where the money is.
Plane only makes money when it's moving.
4:07, which is 10 minutes after they start preparing to diverting to Los Angeles, they start running through the situation with Alaska's other maintenance department in Los Angeles, including being asked if they had tried the switches to adjust the trim, the thing they have been doing for we don't know how long.
Okay, but in defense of any kind of remote tech support, you gotta do it programmatically, because how many times does it happen that you're like, the person swears up and down that they've done the thing, they've been doing the thing for hours, and then you tell them to do the thing and they do the thing and it works,
Yeah.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I was on a plane where they did that. not in the air, but on the tarmac.
I've also been on a plane where they've done that on the tarmac, actually. then it didn't work, so we had to get off the plane that we had just boarded. That was really annoying.
In my case, it worked.
Yeah, it didn't for me.
They love rebooting the Seattle Link Line trains, the tram things, because when after a sporting event and people take public transit, they get so full, they get too heavy and they can't go, and so they have to reboot the trains. Because we're a serious city that has a real transit agency. I'm sorry, I shouldn't shit talk them. Again, I am so excited for the cross lake connection. We're gonna have a train on a floating bridge. But
hell yeah,
it is pretty funny to be on the train and the operator comes on and is like, yeah, sorry, I got to reboot the train, so it's going to be really dark and quiet in here for a few minutes.
I will say
they do that on SEPTA now whenever you go in the trolley tunnel while they're checking the trolley pole.
My understanding of SEPTA was that they do anything to make the trains not move.
No, well, it depends.
Okay, at 4:09 and 14 seconds, they decided to try both the suitcase handle and the pickle switch at the same time.
Oh, the plane takes a screenshot. Also, I'm not thrilled that seconds are making an appearance now. Once you start measuring shit in seconds on a cockpit voice recorder, it's bad.
At 4:09:16, the cockpit voice recorder records, quote, brackets sound of clunk, close brackets.
Oh no.
You don't want to hear that.
No.
I don't want to hear clunk ever.
At 4:09 and 17 seconds, the CVR records, quote, brackets, sounds similar to horizontal stabilizer in motion audible tone, close brackets.
Oh, so it's working. They fixed it.
Yes.
Like, taking a screenshot worked.
Yes. However, it immediately moves into the extreme down position.
I went the wrong way.
Oh, 737 maxing. Okay, sure.
Yes, actually, we will get to that. Probably get to that eventually, I imagine. But it is indeed doing the thing where it's forcing the plane down. You don't really know why.
Yeah, just like what if I went into the ground right now? What if I died?
Yes.
What if we died? You want to meet up and die? Let's die.
Yeah. Next slide, please. So over the span of about 1 minute and 20 seconds, the aircraft is in an uncontrolled dive.
I love this screenshot here. 16 hours, 10, 33 seconds. Left seat, yeah, we got it back under control here. 16, 10, 34 seconds. Right seat, no, we don't. Okay.
This sucks.
I hope when I die there's a record. I guess that's what this is as well. But like, I hope when I die there's a like pertinent record of my comedic timing.
I included this in the slideshow whenever I was writing it, and then Victoria messaged me this later the same evening to be like, "Hey, you included that quote, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's on this slide at this number."
Again, I can't emphasize how much more thorough she is than I am.
The fact that it's all in lowercase, it looks like it's from bash.org.
Yeah. Oh, that's going back a bit, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good Lord. So the
It's
aircraft
telling me that the plane's password is Hunter 12.
Oh my god. The aircraft is in an uncontrolled dive for about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Try not to think about what it was like in the cabin at that point, but moving on.
Yeah, there's samovars going past me. I'm like,
my dip is falling out of my lip, and I'm just like desperately like, no.
I'm sort of becoming more and more aware that it may be required for me to assist in an evacuation if I'm in the exit row.
Hey, so I got some good news for you. You're not going to have to do that.
Like, oh, thank God.
The cockpit crew physically fight this by applying about 135 pounds of force to the control column.
Fucking excuse me?
That's what the NTSB report
is there
said.
a really heavy doctor aboard?
And of course, the plane is falling, so they're not using like their body weight either, because it's in an uncontrolled dive. Presumably, they're actually.
Yeah,
that means this pilot was fucking jacked.
That's all arm strength. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, at least you've got the like adrenaline spike of like the plane going. We're gonna
down,
die now.
right?
You're gonna die. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I usually make less fun of the people who are dying, but I would like it noted for the record that so far all we've decided is these pilots had great comedic timing and they were strong as hell. So I feel like it's fair.
To be clear, with the adrenaline comment, this isn't in the slideshow, but at 16:11 The pilot says, co-pilot asked him how hard it was to pull the control column back, and the pilot just responds, "I don't know, my adrenaline's going."
Oh yeah.
So they apply all that force to the control column. They do other things to mitigate it. They deploy speed brakes, everything that they could conceivably think of in the span of a minute and 20 seconds. They managed to mostly get the aircraft stabilized at about 24,000 feet, where it dropped from 31,000. You can see the graph of how that went there on the left. For the entire remainder of the flight, to the best of my understanding, both crew members will be putting their full bodily force onto the control column in order to keep the plane level. Mostly level, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
They have to let up a little bit in order to let it go down a little more. Whenever they're trying to actually get it closer to the ground or whenever they want to do that. But otherwise, they have to put their entire body weight into making sure the aircraft doesn't go nose down again.
Your controlled descent of very slightly lowering from a pull-up.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those situations where you understand why, the Airbus has the joystick.
Yeah. This is live by wire.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
We will. When we do the Air France, what was it, 447? That's a nightmare that's been on my mind for a long time.
Me too, actually, because I remember when that happened.
Same, yeah.
So at this point, the captain, now that the plane is like level and not pitching down towards the ether, the captain requests to be given a block altitude in order to do whatever he could possibly need to land at Los Angeles. He hopes to descend to about 10,000 or so and figure out if the aircraft is actually controllable. He specifies that he wants to do it over the bay instead of a populated land area for reasons that are unstated but reasonably evident. Los Angeles, to be clear, he's already out over water at this specific moment in time. He just wanted to do all of the preparation work in the area that he was in. They briefly speak to Alaska Airlines maintenance in Los Angeles again, whose response, which is at the lower right here, includes sentences like, okay, ellipses, G's, full stop.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. Anyway, see ya.
Good luck.
Yeah, it ends with they end with, if you want to try it, that's okay with me. If not, that's fine. We'll see you at the gate. Full stop.
Helpful.
That's like a transman trying to like make dinner plans.
Excellent.
Sure, that sounds good. But like, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Like, whatever works.
Don't, God.
I love targeting 3/5 of the podcast hosts at the same time, also injuring myself.
At 16, 12, and 42 seconds, does left seat tell them, and now we're in a fucking pinch, so we're holding, worse than we were?
The star is an expletive. It's obviously it's not specified which, but that's just how it's released.
Yeah.
There's actually a fair number of the asterisks throughout this cockpit voice recorder log.
Say.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I like these guys. It's a shame what's happening to them.
Yes.
I feel bad.
I will get to this at the end, but these guys didn't do anything wrong. I'll go into more details of why that is later. But
this is a kind of existential nightmare into which you can be plunged. I mean, really at any time, but like especially flying.
Yes. At 4:19 and 36 seconds, the cockpit voice recorder records, quote, open brackets, sound of extremely loud noise, close brackets, open brackets, sound similar to loose articles moving around in cockpit, close brackets.
Yeah, I fell out of the bed in the relief cabin, sorry.
The vertical stabilizer, which was still stuck at full nose down and was only being countered by the crew pulling back on the control column, it was only really being held in that position by the retaining nut at the end of the jack screw. That is not a load-bearing nut.
No, you tried to make a non-load-bearing nut bear loads.
Yes.
And it won't do it.
And it has refused this particular load.
Yeah.
And has completely broken free.
There is a more efficient way of destroying the jack screw, which is, as we've talked about, rolling an MRAP into it. But instead of that, they've just sort of done it piece by piece.
Mm-hmm. So with the retaining done on that gone, the jack screw is completely out of the assembly. So there's nothing holding it in place, and the aircraft is now not particularly aerodynamic, not particularly compatible with continuing to fly.
It wants to go down.
Yes.
Really, like, maximally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd imagine that the stabilizer, it should be at a position like this. When it was at max down, it was like this. Now it's probably like way down here.
Next slide, please. Here you'll see the other half of the graph from the last page.
Oh boy. Okay. New anxiety, new fear just drops. New terror.
So the aircraft rolls hard left immediately and completely inverts within a few seconds of that. Both crew immediately start doing whatever they possibly could in order to recover the aircraft. They're running through the upright recovery maneuver, which is to say, doing the process to get the aircraft out of a stall condition by reducing thrust and pushing forwards, because whenever an aircraft you can't stall an aircraft at zero gravity. Basically, the end goal is to get the aircraft in line with the horizon by any means necessary.
Yeah. Left seat says to the right seat, "Have you seen the Denzel Washington movie Flight?" And the right seat says, "Yeah, I was standing up for most of it, but it was pretty good." I like John Goodman.
So they want to get the aircraft level with the horizon, right? And it doesn't necessarily depend on whether they do it right side up or upside down, which is great, which is theoretically good in this instance because they are very much upside down. At 4 minutes 20 seconds, 4:20 and 38 seconds, which is basically a full minute after they had started rolling over. The crew had actually largely succeeded at leveling the aircraft upside down, but commercial aircraft aren't designed to do that. So if they needed to, if they would have wanted to get out of this particular scenario, there wasn't necessarily much that they could do apart from pitching the aircraft not down because it's already pitched down, pushing the control column forward to get the aircraft down and then out of the dive. So, a lot of times people will say that they maybe could have done it if they had a lot more altitude. Ultimately, they did manage to slow the dive pretty significantly. So, it's not like they were without justification in what they tried. It's just that it didn't really matter, especially because once the vertical stabilizer had failed and the aircraft started doing stuff it wasn't designed to, the elevators had torn off to the best of our understanding. So, they didn't really have any
just
input.
Kind of like a doomed heroic attempt to do something.
It's also a little bit confusing as to how it's impressive when the pilots do those crosswind landings when they, crab the aircraft at the last second and go straight. I don't know if you can do a barrel roll at the last second onto the runway.
Probably not. No, and I don't know. It's nice to have a kind of like mechanically heroic epitaph to be like, hey, we know what your like control inputs were till the last second.
My main question is, what the hell is it with Alaskan airplanes and doing barrel rolls?
God.
It's from the Bush pilot spirit.
Of course, when it's upside down, you can't read the guy saying thanks anymore.
Yeah.
So basically, as soon as the aircraft had hit this particular dive, it was going to be, it was already doomed from that point. Cemented largely because, there wasn't enough altitude physically in order to get the plane controllable again, but also then shortly afterwards, the elevators rip off. So given that the two things responsible for pitch are completely uncontrollable, you're not really doing too much with that, I fear. At 4:20 and 49 seconds, the cockpit voice recorder captures the sound of both engine compressors stalling and spooling down, which means that they now have no thrust on top of everything else.
Oh, the one other thing you could use to control pitch. Cool.
Would imagine that has something to do with what's it? The fuel being gravity fed to some extent.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly is how it works in the Denzel Washington movie Flight, 2012.
God. 4:20 and 57 seconds, so 8 seconds after the engines stalled out, Alaska Airlines 261 hits the Pacific Ocean at high speed, immediately killing all 88 occupants and disintegrating completely.
Oh.
The crash is witnessed and reported by multiple other airliners in the vicinity, so the recovery process starts pretty much immediately on that.
So, like, even if you're counting from, like, the thing pitching over inverted, that's still, like, a minute and change of,
Yes.
like, conscious action where you got to be, like, around for that.
Yes,
That
this
is
is
not
kind of
great.
This is like the Challenger disaster of commercial aviation crashes.
I'm trying to think about, like, the worst minute I've had in my life, right? And I'm trying to, like, sort of measure that up. And, like, it would have to be pretty fucking bad for this to be, you know, sort of even anywhere in the same ballpark, you know?
Generally speaking, and especially because it had been followed up by, you know, the same thing happening a few minutes. Well, you didn't go upside down a few minutes earlier, but it wasn't particularly pleasant whenever it happened. You went nose down the first time. So
yeah, you've presumably, like, you know, seen the sort of flight attendant from the film Flight, like, eat shit in the vertebra and, like, seen an entire samovar dent itself inside out on the, like, roof bulkhead, right? Like,
yeah. I didn't include this in the slides, but actually between the two out of control incidents, at one point the pilot does go over the cabin public address system and says, we've had a flight control problem up here. We're working at what does he say? That's Los Angeles up to the right. That's where we're intending to go. I don't anticipate any big problems once we get a couple subsystems online. Don't really know what he meant by that.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It is comforting to know that captains are fully aware of their ability to lie to passengers.
That's not comforting. That's the opposite of comforting. That's discomforting.
I want to be blissfully unaware the whole time. Are you kidding me?
They're gonna kill me. I mean, like,
if I'm gonna be a "well, there's your problem" episode subject, I would like to not know until it is like the last 6 seconds of my life.
Yes,
I'm kind of like you, Chuck Yeager, motherfucker. Give me the, like, minute. You know, be like, you know,
Why?
it's like.
Why would you want to know?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for you to confront the inevitability of death.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, we're gonna process these emotions real quick. Yo, we're on a strict
yeah, we are
time
kind of on the clock for this, but we'll aim to get you to your destination within the next, like, minute and 10 seconds or so.
Final destination.
Yeah.
I like the British Airways pilot who flew through the volcanic cloud.
Oh, the Jakarta one, yeah.
Yeah. I have a spot of bother up here. We lost all 4 engines. We're working hard to get them back online.
Pretty good.
Then
I'm
proceeded
ordering
to do
another
that.
drink.
That's the best part of it.
You get these strange kind of, like, fluctuations of patriotism as a British person, you know? It's
I
like
think the
this,
thing is
Prince
just like
Andrew
this is
getting
part
arrested.
of the pilot. Like, this is part of the pilot sort of mindset, right? It's like you have to be kind of insane to do, like, bush piloting, but I think you also kind of need to have, like, a little bit of a hero complex thing going on. Because there is a moment in your life where you might actually get to save a plane full of people.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so,
if
like,
you're Sully, like, yeah,
like, you gotta be ready to be like, okay, time for me to either, like, it's in that moment, I guess, kind of like, you know, either I pull this off and I'm cool as hell, or I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I imagine that kind of focuses things really nicely for you.
I did look it up because I wanted to remember the exact quote from the British crew. Was, "We have a small problem. All 4 engines have stopped. We are doing our damnedest to get them going again. I trust you are in not too much distress."
Thanks, dude.
You trust wrong, dude. Like, I'm in distress here.
After the plane lands, the flight engineer gets off and kisses he gets on his knees and kisses the air stair, and the pilot asks why, and the flight engineer says the Pope does it, and the captain says he flies Alitalia.
Okay, sorry, that one may be the sort of biggest dicked move I've heard
of. So that's the end of this aircraft and the people on board and the flight. So of course you now have to come to the next questions, which are the how and the why. And you can go to the next slide. This is the jack screw. Was recovered 7 days after the crash in the course of the recovery process.
Are the things spiraling off of it what used to be the nuts?
Further investigation, as well as the observation that whatever it was made out of steel, led to the conclusion that it was the threads from the inside of the Acme nut.
God
this looks like when I clean the drain out of my shower.
So like the
steel?
thread of the
what are you
nuts are
doing?
like mated still mated to the thread of the jack screw, but it sheared it so hard the outer surface of the nuts is just ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fuck me.
Yeah. There was a very convenient there was a diagram I found that I didn't include in the slides for some reason, but yeah, the thread of the nut shears off.
Like
it gets worn down over time, and then what's left of it just sort of comes off inside of the jack screw.
Fuck that.
The term that I used here was stripped clean, which is pretty much accurate. This was quite obviously the primary engineering point of failure on the aircraft. The nut had been stripped out, and the stabilizer was subjected to forces that it couldn't withstand, and then it did what we saw here today, eventually with the retaining nut breaking off. So that answers, well, the first part of the how. The second part is, how did this happen? So the National Transportation Safety Board, in the process of this investigation, so am I, they consider 5 potential causes. The first one is the use of Aeroshell 33 oil to lubricate the jack screw. The finish on the threading of the nut, foreign object damage, the nut having been installed correctly that led to a sort of load imbalance in a way that it wasn't designed to, or insufficient lubrication and maintenance of the jack screw assembly.
We're doing so good to keep a straight face through this. Also, I'm guessing MRAP is filed under C for foreign object damage.
So we're going to go through these in order. The first one, the question of Aeroshell 33 lubricating oil, requires us to ask an important question. You'll go to the next slide. What is oil?
God fucking damn it.
No, this is important. It's an important one. Listen. Sometimes we have to reinforce people's knowledge of oil so that they respect it.
You should respect it. What?
This is the worst thing that regularly happens to me. This is my sleep paralysis oil well.
It's just sitting on you.
If I told you this was the first idea for the slideshow that I had, I presume you would believe me.
Yeah, I do. Just sort of building out of this kind of sadistic urge to like psychologically torture me.
One of these days we gotta actually go out
by
there
the
and see
bits
it.
you have created.
I know.
You made a bunch of transmen who listened to you think that you had a good sense of humor, and then we all came back and we were like, "Hey, check out the sense of humor we learned from this podcast."
I hate this community.
You've created the Podopticon.
Congratulations.
So we actually don't need to go over what is oil, but the long and short of it.
No, you just needed to do this to me.
No,
is what it is.
Don't look at it anymore. Don't look
This is
at
punishment for my hubris in telling Victoria that BMW stands for Bavarian Mercedes Works. Like, or not knowing what a Camry is. Like,
oh, good. The delirium has set in. It's just like when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Triggering a Mercedes guy by telling him that BMW stands for better Mercedes would be.
I love
So Alaska had in December 1997 they had switched to from the Mobile Grease 28 lubricating oil that McDonnell Douglas / Boeing prescribed to lubricate the assembly to the cheaper Aeroshell 33, which is a substitution McDonnell Douglas signed off on.
So like water-based or silicone or what? Like...
that's got to be oil.
So that
I
was
used to know what the numbers meant, but I don't anymore. I believe it is related to viscosity.
Well, to be fair, keeping the nut in place with a more viscous oil probably would have helped. But ultimately, the NTSB tested it, figured out that this was not actually the root cause. So we move on to the next one. We can go to the next slide.
It's a lithium-based thing, and I find on Reddit aviation maintenance that it's a pain in the dick to wash off of your skin.
That I can believe.
I get the couch treatment for at least 2 nights if I come home stinking of it.
Yeah, but it does help stabilize your mood. So, it's...
This is why the FAA doesn't have to check and see if they've got any mental issues, because they're already getting their daily required dose of lithium.
Unpopular opinion, but I love the smell of 33. Everyone at my work thinks I'm crazy.
I love the smell of solvents. It's great. I love all of them.
Yeah, you should probably get that checked out, bud.
Now I'm gonna have to go check out r/aviation maintenance after we're done here.
They're trying to fuck the plane, Mike.
Yeah, let's go
That's what the pilots want to do. The pilots want to fuck the plane.
Everybody wants to fuck the plane.
We're trying to fuck the boat.
That's
you guys
true.
Don't want to fuck the boat?
That's the reason I'm here, certainly.
I just want to huff the chemicals, okay? This is not a sex thing.
My white pilot shirt says it doesn't ever come off fully. It doesn't matter what you use, it permanently stains white.
Okay.
I have seen a guy wash sealant off his hands and then reach for a sandwich out of his lunch bag and eat it.
What kind of sandwich?
Yeah,
it does not specify.
That guy has an immune system stronger than God. or he's where COVID came from. One of the two. The second factor that the NTSB considers is the surface finish on the Acme nut. McDonnell Douglas had investigated reports from airlines previously that the Acme nuts on their brand new shiny MD-11s, famous from the last time I was on this show, were wearing out far quicker than they were supposed to. And in 1998, this had led to a trim system failure that didn't have adverse consequences like this time, but still wasn't very good. They did a metallurgic analysis, I think I pronounced that right, of the recovered assembly, and the nut on this one was fine. Well, it wasn't fine, but it was made up of the right materials at least. So the next one that they considered was if foreign debris had caused the excessive wear. In the course of looking at other aircraft for the purpose of this investigation, they found 2 DC-9s from Hawaiian Airlines They discovered that they had slightly higher amounts of wear than usual and were accompanied by a, quote, pink sand-like material inside of the assembly.
Tasty.
They found out this was...
I saw a guy wash that off of his hands and then reach into his lunch bag for a sandwich.
It's like the stuff you get out of the dispenser at truck stops. It's really gritty. Further investigation revealed that this was the sandblasting material that Hawaiian had used to remove corrosion and wasn't present on the aircraft itself, although the fact that it was accompanied by extra wear meant that it probably was good that they had discovered it when they did. The next possibility was that the nut had been installed in such a way that applied abnormal loads on the jack screw. This partially came out of a report of a different Alaska MD-83 from later in 2000, that crew had discovered a, quote, wobble in the jack screw system. And I don't know what that means, but to be fair, if I was an Alaska pilot after this and felt the stabilizer do literally anything I didn't think I'd expect it to, I would call everybody and probably point a gun at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say you break out the sort of flight deck gun and shoot yourself in the cockpit.
Immediately landing this aircraft at whatever airfield is nearby.
Or not an airfield. Who knows?
That was like every Max pilot, apart from one flight crew.
They investigated that and found out that it was actually that was actually within the spec and that was fine. I'm not really sure what to think about that, but in any case, that one happened on election day 2000. I wrote that down as a note for some reason, but you know, at least somebody had a worse day than the pilot who noticed that, and that somebody was all of the United States.
Yes.
If you go to the next slide.
The guy driving the Ryder truck full of weird ballots.
The last thing...
You can't laugh at that. You were like 1.
I've watched a lot of documentaries about it.
Oh my god!
I learned about it in history class.
We're so old.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
so fucking old.
That one is completely false, but I thought it would be. I thought it would get all of you.
Oh god damn it, you sadist.
The last thing that they examined was insufficient lubrication of the jack screw assembly. The opening sentence of this section of the NTSB report is included here. Seems like something of a tone setter.
Yeah, paragraph 2, subsection 3, subsection 6, insufficient lubrication of the jack screw assembly, brackets, lol, close brackets. It is generally understood that a lack of lubrication of moving parts significantly increases wear. And I'm going in with my Wikipedia edit to be like, citation needed.
That's right, folks. The thing is that when parts are adequately lubricated, not only does it move more easily, it increases the surface area upon which a load is applied. As such, you are not having like stress concentrations as you would with unlubricated part. Also, I think the computer just did something weird. Let me check.
Yeah. Lesson is lubricate everything at all times.
I have completely run out of hard drive space.
I'm gonna fucking you. I'm gonna fucking you. I'm gonna fucking you.
No, I checked before this.
I am going to.
I had 42 gigabytes.
Gun. I'm gonna you with a gun, and I'm gonna have to bury my best friend, and I'll feel real bad about it. But I am going to fucking you.
I checked before this because I was having problems earlier. I had 42 gigabytes.
Oh my god!
Give me 1 second. All right.
Just close Audacity, dude. Just close Audacity, and we'll just run it. Oh my god!
I'm applying 135 pounds of force to the podcasting column. Attempting desperately to pull back up.
This is the worst day of my life.
All I can see in front of me is the earth.
Pull up. Pull up.
Ross!
All right. I just freed up 21 gigabytes.
We gotta wrap this shit up then.
Yeah, it should be good for another like half hour.
Oh, so
Great,
we're doing recording in
okay.
half-hour bursts now.
And we're back. I think.
So the NTSB tests this and confirms that an unlubricated jack screw assembly deteriorated about 10 times faster than a properly lubricated one, and the damage looked pretty much the same as what we were seeing from parts they had recovered from the aircraft.
The dry jack screw?
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
It's a bad
Technically
idea.
counts as a plain dry jacking.
So more concerning was that when the NTSB recovered it, they found no evidence there was any lubrication on it at the time of the accident, actually. They did acknowledge that it was possible that such lubrication had been washed off by seawater, and Alaska Airlines representatives that were there whenever they recovered the jack screw claimed that they saw and felt lubrication on the jack screw whenever it was recovered.
Oh yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you did.
The NTSB then goes into a relatively lengthy explanation of how they were relatively certain that seawater didn't do this. They clarify that they never washed it with anything more than, quote, a hose similar to a garden hose.
I love Fed language.
Yeah, and I mean a jack screw is a relatively high friction assembly. You know, this is not something that, you are causing physical trauma to this nut constantly if you're not lubricating it.
And they obviously want to be very certain of this, so they commissioned the Aerospace Materials Laboratory of the United States Navy to immerse an object.
Like we got the Navy's biggest nerds to replicate these conditions because we're pretty sure you're just lying.
I love the idea of calling in the United States Navy and be like, nah, dude.
They immersed an object of similar metallic composition in water similar to what the jack screw was recovered from for the same amount of time the jack screw was in the Pacific, which was 7.5 days. When the test showed that seawater didn't remove grease from an object like this, it seemed fairly evident that there wasn't any. Later on, they would recover other parts of the plane that were still lubricated and had been underwater for even longer. And in 2002, another MD-80, China Northern Airlines Flight 6136, which crashed for reasons not related to this at all, in-flight arson specifically. They look at
in-flight arson. This is why they banned smoking, I guess.
Yeah, well, this guy had a lot of insurance policies and like 5 cans of petrol. My understanding.
They don't let you bring
beast
cool
mode,
stuff on
to be
planes
quite
anymore.
honest. Listen, it's like the thing about, like, you know, if you owe the bank $1 billion, the bank has a problem. You know, if I have 6 cans of petrol and I'm on a plane, the insurance company has a problem.
Yes.
In any case, they were able to recover a jack screw from the water because it also crashed on approach to, I believe, Dailan. I'm not sure. It had been submerged in seawater for an extended period of time, not as much time, only 5 days, but basically that still had lubrication on it. Putting this simply, there wasn't any lubrication on the jack screw.
I do love the idea of being like, oh, so you have a girlfriend in Canada, you say? Well, I've commissioned the Aerospace Material Laboratory from the U.S. Navy to investigate that claim.
According to security camera recordings, the guy who set the China Northern Airlines plane on fire had spent several hours smoking cigarettes in the waiting hall of Beijing Airport. Dudes rock. I'm sorry.
My favorite thing is that I obviously I used to smoke. I don't anymore because I'm trying to live past the age of 35. But when I still smoked, it was when they still had the smoking rooms at the Atlanta airport, which did make it a top tier airport to connect through. And I got stuck there overnight once, and so I just slept on the floor, and I'd wake up with my back killing me. I'd walk down the hall, and I just blast cigs in like the air conditioned ventilation room in the middle of the airport. It was great, honestly.
It used to be if you walked past it while connecting to another flight, the automatic doors would open and would blast you with secondhand smoke.
Yeah, as you should. You should always be contracting a little bit more cancer every time you step
I'm always
into an
saying
airport.
this. This happened. I'm saying this because this happened to me when I was, I believe, 8 years old. So that's
oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Oh. I feel so old now.
I got blasted in the face with cigarette smoke by, you know, at the age of 8 by my grandparents, as God intended.
Yeah,
but Americans had
to be clear, this was
it.
also happening to me. It was just weird to have it happen at a public airport. I was running through because my flight from fucking Akron had been stuck on the tarmac for 2 hours.
Oh God.
But so Alaska Airlines did not have a girlfriend in Canada.
Yes.
No.
And on top of that, they also found that the passageway for the jack screw to be fitted for it to be lubricated was full of a dry, congealed, quote, clay-like substance consistent with degraded lubrication.
So what, like nobody lubed it in like 20 years or whatever, and it just dried out in there?
Well, it had supposedly been lubricated in September 1999, which, you know, that was only a few months before this, also a few months after I was born, to continue that pattern. It should have contained completely normal, semi-liquid lubricating oil. And they looked at other parts of the tail assembly that should have been lubricated at the same time as part of the same procedure and found that they also had functionally no lubrication going on. The NTSB goes and obviously immediately interviews the technician who had done the lubrication job. This was at San Francisco specifically. They realize within very short order that he has no idea how to lubricate this aircraft. He was the job that he was doing.
This is a kind of anxiety nightmare as the feds show up to see if you know what you're doing at work.
No.
No.
I don't.
Well, if the feds show up to figure out if you know how to podcast, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I do like 4+ hours of work for what should be a 1-hour job.
It would actually be that would be a FCC. I assume would show up.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be a 1 hour, over 4 hour job. Alaska was signing off on work that he had done that took about an hour. So yeah, that wasn't really good. The NTSB discovered that there were two other
Tops will really be like, oh yeah, no, it's lubed. Trust me.
the NTSB discovers that 2 other Alaska MD-83s had more wear than expected on that assembly. The same maintenance technician had been responsible for one of those, but only the one and not the other, which does bring us to the systemic questions.
Why are you not lubing your shaft?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the answer is because that's not how we do things here, right? Like there's a cultural issue at play here.
It takes a long time. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
If the guy in front of you drops his lube,
you pick up the lube and go home.
Yeah.
So the next thing the NTSB observed was that the amount of wear that was experienced between the last scheduled lubrication, and I have quotes around that, which was September 99, and the accident, which was January 2000, was not nearly enough time to have caused that much wear, indicating that it had been done wrong before that as well. So we have a pretty big hint as to why straight off, and we can go to the next slide. So the first people we have to look at are Alaska Airlines themselves. The NTSB found that Alaska had, number one, designed custom tools for checking jack screw and nut wear that tended to indicate there was less wear than in actuality.
Just a big thumbs up on a stick.
Yeah, smiley face.
Looks good.
This was seemingly a genuine fault on Alaska's part. Not like they were trying to tamper with maintenance procedures by doing this, and I mentioned this for a specific reason. But they were just trying to cut costs by fabricating their own tools instead of getting the normal ones.
I remember the time I did that on my Toyota Supra, and I almost became a Well, There's Your Problem episode.
Yeah, I mean...
Don't ever use washers as spacers for anything that might vibrate.
Yes.
Duly noted.
I'm sure Roz would have known that, but I didn't. I was like 23 years old and really suicidal, and I wanted big Mercedes-Benz brakes on my Toyota.
So
the Mercedes works.
The second thing that they had done to contribute to this, and this was the main one, was that they had extended maintenance intervals quite a bit. So when Alaska had started their MD-80 maintenance program in 1985, they had initially designated that the process that included lubricating the jack screw was to take place every 5,000 flight hours. By 1988, they had switched this to a calendar time-based process rather than flight hours. So the process was now supposed to happen every 26 months. Now, based on the typical aircraft usage, this would have been about 6,400 flight hours, up from 5,000. The extension of that
I was going to say, we switched to a sort of a calendar time-based process, so you could do it more regularly, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But also around the time Alaska started drastically increasing frequency and using and aircraft utilization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, this extension was significant enough that it should have required FAA approval, which Alaska Airlines did not seek. In 1996, they extended this to 30 months, meaning that the procedure would now be carried out every 9,550 flight hours based on typical aircraft utilization. So the 30-month time period was technically within spec from McDonnell Douglas. It was at the very top end of it, but it was within their specifications for calendar-based maintenance schedules. However, the 9,550 flight hours was not, and of course, if they were using a calendar-based schedule, they also should have done a whichever comes first.
Yeah, right. Like that's the reason why you would do that, is to do it more often rather than less, ideally.
Yeah, the maximum number of flight hours that McDonnell Douglas recommended was either 7,200 or 7,000, depending on which set of guidelines were used. So
to be clear, McDonnell Douglas is a corporation that, and you can buy this shirt from us, will kill you. They love to do it, right? And yet, even they were like, okay, but you're pushing it.
I have to remember to buy one of those. I remember like 8 months overdue
Link
on that.
In the description.
Saw somebody with it in public once, and I was like, "Oh, that's from my episode. That's horrifying to see in real life." So yeah, the typical practice was to have the whichever comes first. Alaska just kind of didn't, and was technically, very technically, considered compliant with McDonnell Douglas guidelines, because they did not specify that you had to do the whichever comes first. It was not written in ink.
So it's these assholes why every time I fucking update my phone, I've got to scroll through 350 pages of...
Yeah. Because
this
of me,
is what
they've got a
words
warning.
mean.
Yes.
Whereas...
But it did
We'll
ultimately
kill you, stone dead, frowny face.
And then it's like a crayon drawing of McDonnell Douglas, like an F4 bombing the shit out of you. And the F4 has a smiley face on it.
But it did ultimately mean that both man hours and maintenance costs themselves had been significantly cut in a process that was generally seen by the public as successful up until this. By the public, at least.
By shareholders.
Yes. The last
Mind
time
you, they were still making a loss.
Yes.
No, they were making profit by this point.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
They made a huge loss in '92, and then they turned it around real quick when they canceled all the maintenance facilities.
Yes.
And they broke the stewardesses, and they like did a bunch of other
increasing aircraft utilization.
They did this shit.
It's nice to know
if the
that
airplane is flying, you save money.
It's nice to know that like all of the money they saved went directly into some rich guy's pocket so that he could buy like more time on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah, and then they could kill 90 people.
Yeah.
So the last time the aircraft has undergone the full-fledged maintenance procedure that included the jack screw was September of 1997. It would have received another one in March of 2000. In the time between September of 97 and January of 2000, it had accumulated about 9,000 flight hours. So
right,
it was
president lube up the plane.
It was still under the recommended flight hours window for Alaska, so that's something to consider. The NTSB actually recommended that the 7,000/7,200 flight hours that McDonnell Douglas gave was actually also too long, given the likelihood that the lubrication process was going to be done wrong. They felt it more reasonable to check that at shorter frequencies. Obviously, this meant that Alaska's 9550 hours was ridiculous and was the biggest contributing factor overall to this entire accident. Yeah, that's basically it for Alaska Airlines. They extended their maintenance programs and killed a bunch of people in the process in order to cut costs.
It's so fucked up because it really is like the most direct line for any recent aviation disaster I can think of between, oh yeah, we wanted to save money and we killed a bunch of people. Like it's usually you have to like actually sift through the systemic factors here. But really this one is just like, oh my God, they cut costs and 9 years later, like to the day, they killed a ton of people.
Headline is like sort of several minutes of terror kill almost 100 people because capitalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like this could have been a 5-minute episode.
Yeah, sorry, I tend to write
then we wouldn't have figured out like which airline liveries we like the best, or talked about like sort of
why are you apologizing? I'm the one who was like, hey, check out the Golden Samovar service, a thing that had absolutely no bearing whatsoever on this disaster.
Check out the universally beloved guy on the tail.
Yeah,
apparently not universally beloved.
No, not by me. And I will go to my grave, you know, ideally not inverted in a sort of like pitch dive, but I will go to my grave not liking the guy.
And hopefully we survive this episode with our spinal columns intact.
Fingers crossed. I mean, mine feels a little bit like, ow. Yeah, I still can't raise my arm that high.
You sound like my dad. Jesus wept.
Listen, I don't know.
I got a new chair like 2 days ago from the thrift store, and it's much better than my old one, so I'm actually quite happy.
Cool.
Sorry,
Maya.
No problem.
You're also like so much younger than all of us that you can't even have it.
I will say this to all of you children, you infants. 35 hits like the nut shearing off the jack screw. You don't know what pain is,
sister.
And I know in the comments that there are people laughing at me in their 40s, right? So I know it's going to happen
until the injury.
The injury. Yeah.
Can you put echo on that, Nova?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We can do that for sure.
So the second person we need to point out is podcast fan favorite McDonnell Douglas / Boeing at this point.
Boo!
Both
available.
Classic shirt. You are McDonnell Douglas gonna like slide into the ocean at like 500 miles an hour.
McDonnell Douglas will kill you.
Boeing engineers, during the hearings over the course of this investigation, said that they had not considered Acme nutware as a likely single source of failure, and that it required multiple things going wrong in order to cause a catastrophic loss. So they didn't need to put more fail-safes into the aircraft design. Worth remembering, of course, this is a design from the 1960s on top of that.
Yeah, but to be clear, they're going, well, we didn't expect anyone to just not bother lubricating it for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And indeed, the FAA agreed and approved the aircraft design when it was built in the 1980s. And of course, they did so again in the 1990s whenever they were building the MD-95. So McDonnell Douglas not implementing fail-safe procedures to account for airlines not maintaining their planes good enough was cited as a cause, as one of the factors that caused this accident. But of course, ultimately, at the end of the day, we're still pointing at Alaska Airlines for not lubricating the planes hard enough. So, kind of a catch-22 here. That should have been designed better, but they should have maintained it better. Ultimately, once the report was issued, the Alaska and Boeing sort of immediately were like, okay, let's take care of this now, and settled out of court with all the victims' families en masse. Alaska took steps to improve their maintenance program. I don't have any concrete numbers on that, which scares me, but they haven't killed anybody since then. They had the thing pop out of the aircraft a couple years ago, but that was Boeing. That one was Boeing's fault. Door plug, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
You're telling me that Boeing planes have unexpected issues in flight?
Yeah, sometimes the emergency exit row decides to assist with its own evacuation,
No, this was not an emergency exit row. It was a door plug, because certain versions of the 737 MAX had a door that was not required for certain seating configurations. So it was simply plugged up.
Yes.
Right? But the door plug went because it was not plugged up correctly.
Yes. I'm flying on an Alaska 737 MAX 9 a week from tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Wear your seatbelt.
Yes. So Boeing didn't really implement any changes to the DC-9 or derivative designs. They simply just kind of mandated the carriers actually do the proper maintenance on it. The MD-80 didn't have any more fatal accidents caused by this before being retired from mainstream airlines in like the late 2010s. You can still find them in some places, mainly the places where plane parts are expensive. I think Venezuela has the most of them. Although the Boeing 717, which used to be the McDonnell Douglas MD-95, does have the same design and is still in active service. And it's a plane I quite like flying on because it's a little dumb. I presume the Chinese clone of the MD-90 also has the same problem. I don't know. I didn't look into that.
Sort of, they're like, this is a kind of lower priority issue once we can start getting like economy class to stop self-immolating.
Mm-hmm. That would, God, the Chinese MD-90 clone is such a fascinating thing, but that's not for right now. So,
well, presumably their maintenance guys, will spend the full 4 hours doing the lubrication.
Hopefully,
because otherwise they won't get their smoke break.
So I have one quick addendum, which is on the next slide. So the one last twist came shortly after this crash happened, when it became public that Alaska Airlines' maintenance program had been under federal scrutiny since 1998, when a mechanic by the name of John Leotine filed a whistleblower complaint with the FAA that Alaska had been approving maintenance records that they did not have legal authority to approve, as well as records that indicated that maintenance had happened when it actually hadn't. The FAA had been conducting a federal investigation at the time and had gone as far as to raid Alaska's maintenance records in December 1998, but that investigation was still ongoing.
Oh, so the guy on the radio with them who's like, I don't know, seems rough, might have already seen the feds raid their offices like the year before.
Mm-hmm. Alaska put this guy on paid leave in 1999 because they presumably figured him out. He sued them for libel in 2000 after this happened. After the crash had happened, he went back into his personal maintenance records that he had taken copies of for the sake of the feds. I think it actually didn't indicate which. he had discovered that in 1997, he had recommended a full jack screw replacement for N963AS due to an excessive amount of wear on it. He had done this shortly before the end of a shift day. He had gone home, and the person that came into work after him had overridden that suggestion and put the aircraft back into service.
Incredible. Just like
Most
he wrote down on
man
a
of all time.
He wrote down on a file like, "Hey, can you not do Alaska Flight 261?" And they like crossed that out and they were like, "Do Alaska Flight 261."
No, we're gonna crash this plane. I think it's gonna be good for business.
Do not spiral into the ocean. And it's like,
I don't know. That sounds expensive.
So that was all that I had. The next slide was one of Victoria's, so I'll hand that back to her.
Oh yeah, nobody went to jail. By the way, that was something that nobody ever got charged. Nobody went to jail, and which is I think fewer consequences than there even were in Denzel Washington Flight 2012 because didn't they get mad at him for being drunk while he was flying? I don't remember. That's the dad part of the movie. I only watched the plane crash part.
I'm gonna mount a defense of the back half of Flight. I think it's good. It's like kind of soul searching. It's not like.
I mean, here's the thing, right? It's like there are 2 Denzel Washington "Well, There's Your Problem" episodes, and of the 2, Unstoppable is a better movie.
I agree.
Missile the size of the Chrysler Building.
I liked the back half of Flight because the airline is 100% like, let's fucking go. Let's get John Goodman, drug dealer, in here. We are gonna like liquor you up before the hearing, and you're not gonna tell them shit. You know, like they're ready to go.
I actually, sorry, hang on. I want to clarify one more thing real quick that I forgot to. If you look into this online, you will see some people that blame the crew for not immediately diverting and instead doing all the extra tests and things before deciding to put the aircraft down.
I can't believe these
Don't do that.
Pilots did it by the book, the thing that they're supposed to do.
Do not do this. These 2 guys did the best that they possibly could, and there's absolutely no reason to find fault in anything that they did.
Yeah, like there's nothing to say that even if they were like, okay, let's put it on the ground now, right? We find the nearest, like, I don't know, flat strip of land or whatever. There's nothing to say that like trying to do that wouldn't have sheared off the thing just the same, because like it did that when they were trying to maneuver, right? Like as soon as they tried to like put the thing into like a turn.
Yep.
Yeah. No, didn't they win a medal too?
I don't know off the top of my head, but they probably should.
I'm pretty sure the pilots got like an international recognition from like some international pilot
they were posthumously awarded the Airline Pilots Association Gold Medal for heroism, which is completely reasonable.
They fought the plane the whole way down.
Yeah,
king shit.
Yep. Yes. No, I just wanted to take a moment and say that because I keep seeing people on comment sections online trying to blame it on them, and it pisses me off.
The Airline Pilots Organization.
It's entirely the corporation's fault.
Yes.
Again, it's the
titanium medal for upper body strength.
It's the most straightforward "Well, There's Your Problem" episode of all time. Everybody aboard who was actually doing things was like, "Oh yeah, we did a great job," but they were still fucked over by the indifference of capitalism and shareholder buybacks.
Yep.
This is all like literally, it's all Ronald Reagan's fault. The episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted the thing that really did actually kind of drive me crazy about the flight crash scene is that they have him dump fuel, and you can't dump fuel in an MD-83 or 88 or any of them. They didn't have the fuel dump capacity, so like for them to be like, oh yeah, well, let's walk through this disaster exactly as it happened, which was a pretty action-packed disaster. And then to be like, we're gonna add in a fuel dump. It sounds cool.
I also like that he's dumping fuel inverted at like 50 feet over a city. Just like, why does everything taste of cancer?
They do clip a church right after this scene, which I think is kind of funny. They like
the inverted 9/11.
Is the fuel dumping valve? Well, I guess if it doesn't have a fuel dumping valve, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't.
Isn't it gravity fed? It wouldn't work if the plane's upside down.
I think they dump the fuel before they invert it. I think they actually, from what I remember, because I watched it a few weeks ago, and then I forgot to like write it down more. Because again, Maya and I have very different podcasting philosophies.
Sorry,
but I'm pretty sure the plane jerks down. No, I don't apologize. The plane jerks down, and then he's like, "Whoa, it's just like Alaska 261." and then they're like level it out, and then it jerks down again, and then I'm pretty sure they dump fuel as the plane is accelerating towards the Earth, which again you can't do on this kind of plane.
He's listening too. Well, there's your problem as he does it.
Like those
as
car
with all of our
videos,
listeners, drunk at work. Yeah.
How long have I been muted?
I don't remember.
This happened the last time I was on this pod. I
do this a lot.
You for a while.
Well, I threatened to kill you because you ran out of hard drive space. That's the last thing I remember. I don't know.
Well, I very much remember that as well.
That went in, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only note that I had is like Alaska is the only American carrier to have not declared bankruptcy in the post-deregulation era. Because post-deregulation aviation is obviously not a problem at all. It's not an issue whatsoever to like force competition in a field that like has massive upfront capital expenditures and a ton of maintenance that you have every incentive in the world to cut. Anyway, Alaska's probably going to go bankrupt anyway because they bought Hawaii and now the US economy is collapsing.
Yeah, the good news is that we are slowly marching towards a one airline economy in this country, and I don't know what airline it will be.
I hope it's not American.
State carrier.
Pan Am.
Yeah, TWA. Fuck it. Back from the dead, baby.
TWA.
God, I hope so.
Eastern Airlines.
TWA give us all jobs as flight attendants.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trans Woman Airlines.
We can't have Trans Woman Airlines because we would select the planes based on what we individually thought was most beautiful. We would be the only airline in the world simultaneously flying Embraers, Bombardiers, and Tupolevs.
Way too many Lockheed L-1011s.
God.
Great plan.
You got my ass.
Yeah.
It's a good plane.
Sorry. You're here for the charter flight? Yeah, get in the back of the MiG-15.
Yep.
But I can see daylight through the floor. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Don't worry.
Soviet Russian machine never break.
I want to throw in a quote from the former CEO of American Airlines, Robert Crandall. In June 2008, in the middle of the financial collapse from Don't Do the Financial Collapse, he said, "The consequences of deregulation have been very adverse. Our airlines, once world leaders, are now laggards in every category, including fleet age, service quality, and international reputation. Fewer and fewer flights are on time. Airport congestion has become a staple of late-night comedy shows. An even higher percentage of bags are lost or misplaced. Last-minute seats are harder and harder to find. Passenger complaints have skyrocketed. Airline service, by any standard, has become unacceptable." He also blamed this for why you can't get a halfway decent flight out of a small city, which, as somebody who has flown out of two small city airports, both Missoula and Idaho Falls,
Yep.
Hub and spoke is great if you live in a fucking hub, but if you do
I
not,
sure
your
do.
life sucks. Well, that's the thing, right? That's why I fly Alaska all the time, is because I have one carrier option because I live in Seattle.
I live where it was a hub until it wasn't a hub anymore, and that's a particularly interesting experience.
Oh,
yeah. The lesson here is that like this is the there's your problem episode that will beat you to death with its unsubtlety.
Mm-hmm.
Capitalism directly killed a bunch of people.
yes.
It's fine.
Also,
We
if
paid
you're
off
a
the
pilot,
families.
You're probably like a little crazy, but sometimes you do really cool stuff. So
Yes.
Don't date another pilot. Don't do that to yourself.
I'm not dating any more pilots. Trust me, I'm done with that part of I put in my time.
Well, we have a segment on this podcast called Safety Third.
Shake hands with danger.
Attention train perverts.
Yep.
Hey.
What's up?
Greetings from an airplane pervert.
Oh,
good.
God.
Our worlds have much in
One
common.
of my countrymen, thank God.
I told you to stop fucking the planes.
Our vehicular interests may from the outside appear totally different, but
No,
at
they're all the
heart,
same.
aviation and railroad transportation have many things in common. They're long metal boxes with people and stuff inside. There's autism and a healthy terror of collisions.
Yeah, they're two subcultures divided by a common language and united by the desire to fuck the machine.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I just want to sniff the solvents.
No, he doesn't.
This incident involves my time as a regional airline FO. What's an FO?
First officer.
First officer, okay. And at one of our common stops, Philadelphia International Airport. It's here
Unfortunate.
on the screen.
I like that you can see the proximity to the nearest Wawa. That's important.
Oh yeah, there's a Wawa here.
There is a Wawa here. It's not very good.
I've also been to this Wawa.
Yeah, there's the oil refinery used to be up here. Fort Mifflin is here. It's cool.
Fort Mifflin's really cool. Yeah,
it's really cool. What else is? You can see the Fainting Goat Bar and Restaurant up here. I haven't been there. I don't know what's there. Anyway, KPHL earned a reputation among flight crews as a real headache to fly through. The airspace is crowded. The ground controllers seem to think everyone is familiar with the unwritten procedures, that their overworked brains cooked up themselves, and the airport signage sucks. Many a time I have been told to taxi from intersection spot 6, which is a big dot on the taxiway intersection that says 6 on it, along the taxiway and report when I reach intersection spot 11, only to be laughed at for calling up too early because the spots are numbered 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10A, and then 11.
Excellent. I love Philadelphia, greatest city in the world.
I can only assume it's like this to specifically set up good and noble first officers to be laughed at by the ground control hyenas.
Yes, I imagine so.
Mm-hmm.
These are mere annoyances to what KPHL's real problem is. It is a 10-gallon airport in a 5-gallon bag. It has 3 runways when it really needs 6. But there's no room because the river is blocking off the expansion it really needs to accommodate the busy hub it operates as. This gorilla in a phone booth setup leads us to the incident which I write to you about today. We were flying our CRJ 200 into KPHL, and after half an hour of futzing around, holding and vectoring, we were number 2 to land on runway 27R. There's 27. I assume it's one of these two. Anyway, behind an American Airlines 737, runway 27R is perpendicularly intersected by runway 35, which is this one. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about this guy here.
What the fuck?
Yeah. No, when they land on this one, I can hear them coming over my house really loud. They only do that in like crosswinds.
That's anyway. A tiny little runway.
Oh yeah, and it's not a big one. I've been on a flight that, we did a go around on one of the big runways.
It's really easy for a layer to vector a satellite over your house again. Hi, Alea.
It was like a bad thunderstorm. And we had to do a go around on one of the big runways and circle around and go to the small runway. And I was like, you could just drop me off here. My house is right here. I'll just get off
DB Coopering at 500.
Punch out the door plug and parachute out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right in my backyard. Yeah. Anyway, runway 27R is perpendicularly intersected by runway 35, which was also accepting arrivals at the time because KPHL is always busy.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, finally, we were cleared to switch to the tower frequency, but instead of being cleared to land like we were expected, tower told us to execute a series of S-turns along the approach path to give crossing landing traffic time to land.
What?
My captain and I looked at each other in surprise, because neither of us had done this as a time-making maneuver before, and certainly not
just
at this
on
altitude.
The radio in the broadest Philadelphia accent you can. Yeah, just fuck around up there for a minute so this John can get off the runway.
Yeah. Can you just make some S-turns? My captain and I looked at each other in surprise because neither of us had done this as a time-making maneuver before. Certainly not at this altitude, but the tower said to, and avoiding traffic is always a good idea. We wiggled our 26-ton aluminum booty for a minute as we screamed over the naval yard. When the tower asked if we saw the traffic we were to avoid, we answered, "Nah, do you want more S-turns?" The tower said they were sure we were fine. They couldn't see the traffic anymore either.
Good.
Okay. And we were cleared to land on 27R. Less than 10 seconds later, as we are on short final to land, a King Air light turbojet appears to the left of our flight path. Motors left to right across the runway we were about to land on and planted itself on runway 35. Okay, now you're clear of traffic, Tower said 5 seconds before we landed.
You can't say they don't have a sense of comedy there.
Kids, the moral here is that even air traffic control gets overwhelmed, and you never need an excuse to hit the takeoff go around buttons and punch it out of there. If the vibes suck, hit the bricks. Maybe you won't wake up in the middle of the night with the memory of making eye contact with a passenger in another airplane.
Fuck me.
Oh, just another beautiful day in commercial aviation.
Yeah. I love the show. It has kept my spirits up when the times have been dark. And yay, Liam.
Yay,
Liam.
Thank you.
Signed, a potential future episode subject. Brackets. Please, for the love of God, do not post anything that might identify me. Close brackets.
Listen, if you feel like it's going that way,
name.
you're gonna just get on your phone, start blasting the episode for the benefit of the cockpit voice recorder.
Well,
amazing.
That was Safety Third.
Shake hands with danger.
Our next episode is on Chernobyl. Does anyone have any commercials before we go?
BeGaySolveCrimes.com, Trangirlismo. Third thing.
Talk your shit.
Trangirlismo, that's it. I have a Patreon.
Maya. If the people want more Maya, where can they find more Maya?
I'm going to plug two things. I'm going to plug my website, which is a good place to always find me. It's literally just mayawalkwith.me. That's .me is the TLD. It's a good web domain. I've gotten compliments on it before. Assuming this is okay, I'm also going to plug. I have a GoFundMe running so I could get moved to Seattle, Washington.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because conditions in rural America have gotten quite bad, and it is time to become an internally displaced refugee.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, you should go
love
donate.
being internally displaced refugees.
Yes.
Transmen are always doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You should go donate to that GoFundMe. There will be a link in the description.
A lot of people already have, and I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I donated to it, but I accidentally set it as anonymous. I don't want to be anonymous. I donated to it.
Like it says in the Bible, let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Yes.
At all times. All right. End this.
All right. That was the episode.
Bye, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.